I had 100 cockroaches here, and I placed them in this James Bond-style contraption that turns this ball screw and forces them out after a specified time delay. And then I put it in a lunchbox for camouflage, and then I released them in this office. Now you might think, that's not very nice, Mark. Some people are afraid of cockroaches. Trust me, I know. And that's exactly the point, because this isn't just any office. This is ground zero for one of those terrible call centers that scams people of their life savings. A year ago when I released this video about inadvertently stumbling onto the low-level thugs in this international scam operation, I said we were going to glitter bomb our way all the way to the top, even if it meant taking this fight to the other side of the globe. And so after a year and a half of planning, we infiltrated not one, not two, not three, but 4 different scam call centers. We released cockroaches, smoke bombs, stink bombs, glitter bombs, and then of course we hacked their CCTV so we could watch the whole thing unfold in real time. So buckle up, because this is the wild conclusion to this multinational adventure, and please watch to the end because there's something you can actually do to help put the nail in the coffin of these 4 massive call centers. Now why would we go after this $20 billion scam industry? Well, we're doing it for the 60 million people who've lost money to scammers in the past year. But more specifically, we're doing it for Bessie, who you might recall from my previous video when I detailed exactly how one of these scams worked.
Yeah.
She was like one of my closest friends. I used to share each and everything with her.
Basically, it starts with an email or a spam call, then they pretend to be Amazon or Microsoft, and they tell the victim that they've been charged $200 for something, but if you call back, you can dispute the charge. Then after they call, they eventually get on the victim's computer and importantly, have the victim type the $200 refund amount into a bogus form.
Please enter your refund amount.
Only they take over and secretly type the amount of $20,000 and then they hit enter real quick.
Check everything, is it correct?
Oh no, this is a mistake. Oh, I screwed up. It was supposed to be a 200 in there. Oh, God almighty. I'm exhausted. I can't do this. My mind is absolutely fried.
Please check your account. Did you really receive that money in your account?
Then they take her to a totally fake, spoofed bank account page where it looks like because of Bessie's mistake, they just sent her $20,000 instead of $200.
Oh my God, plus 20,000.
Yeah.
Please save my job, ma'am. If I'll not earn for my family will die due to hunger, due to starvation.
Yes, of course. I mean, what should I do? I mean, I can...
Bad for you. You are also like my grandmother.
You know, I'm an honest person.
You're making me cry now. I'm getting attached to you.
How do I fix this?
And now you can see how he's weaponized her empathy. Now to fix her mistake, how she'd be willing to go to the bank and withdraw what she thinks is an extra $20,000 in cash, when in reality, it's $20,000 of her hard-earned savings. And she's gonna send it in the mail to a heartless scammer. Now in case you think they've gotten a lot nicer over the last year, here's another call from a few weeks ago where the scam is to pretend they're from the government and there's some missing taxes that are owed.
I've just retired last February, and then I was diagnosed with breast cancer in August. So my retirement has been very good so far. And after today, I know it's not your fault, but it's worse now.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
I would rather
that.
just pay it. Otherwise, I'll be worrying about it, and I'll be worse in my health. You know what I mean? Or even if I have to pay it in 2 parts.
So the scammer places her on hold to talk with the authorities to see if there's just something that can be done to help her out.
Thank you so much for holding the line, ma'am. I just had a word with the higher authorities and I informed them about your situation, and they are also concerned about your health.
So concerned, in fact, she'll only have to send these scammers $2,000.
The actual amount found out missing in the taxes is $1,489.
Now last year's operation was effective in getting a handful of people involved in this scam not only covered in glitter, but also arrested. But the problem was we discovered these were just the low-level mules and supervisors who would then send the bulk of the money back to the actual scammers in India. And while we did turn over all the intel we gathered to the 5 major government agencies that reached out to us to truly avenge Bessie, our goal was to take our glitter all the way to the top and either temporarily disrupt or possibly even permanently shut down a few of these terrible call centers. It'd be like a special operation, and every special operation needs a special ops team, a target, and a plan. For the team, I turn back to my good friend Jim Browning, who you recall from last year has a YouTube channel that specializes in reversing the connection to the scammers' computers and gaining access to their CCTV footage.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to know why you scam people.
And then another YouTube channel called Trilogy Media would be the boots on the ground in India implementing the pranks, but more on them later. For the target, together we were able to locate and gather tons of incriminating information on 4 different scam call centers. For starters, there's Met Technologies located in Kolkata, India on the 5th floor of this building. They've been in operation over 12 years and they've got over 1,000 agents. Their owner is Mr. Kunal Gupta, and you can even see the rest of their leadership team here on their public website. And you might ask, why would a scam call center have a public website? And the answer is they all do, because they have a very small percentage of their employees do legitimate call center work. So if they get raided by the authorities, they can point to that small group and say their hands are clean, while the real money-making operation runs here behind a secure door. Then we found VRM, also located in Kolkata on the 12th floor of this building. They also have over 1,000 agents, and they've been in operation for 6 years, and they run 24 hours a day in 3 shifts to target people in time zones all across the globe. Oh, and allow me to introduce to the world Rajesh and Vidya Goenka, the husband and wife co-owners. Next was Anj Info Solutions on the 5th floor of this building. They also run 3 shifts, 24 hours a day, and they've been up and running for 11 years with all their key info shown here. They're located just a block away from VRM. In fact, all 3 of these centers were located within just a few miles of each other here in Kolkata, India, which is a hot spot for scam call centers like this. And finally, there was one more we located, but we're not releasing public information on them yet, and you'll see why in just a little bit. And so once we'd amassed mountains of evidence against all 4 of them thanks to Jim's handiwork, we hired 10 private investigator types to apply for jobs at each of these centers, and after a few weeks, we had them all in place. Now, in order for them not to arouse suspicion, they had to legitimately scam some people, but we told them to remember the victim's information, and then we would reach out and double any money that was lost. And at first, one of our agents in the VRM call center went against protocol and used his phone to capture some footage for us of the bathrooms and the server rack and whatever this is, but they must have seen him filming with his phone on their CCTV, because the next day, some of the security team showed up at his house. Now luckily, his roommate knew to lie and say he wasn't home, and he was able to escape through the back alley, but they stayed out in front of his house all day and later sent this message saying the director wanted to speak with him and they would pay him handsomely, and of course, he didn't need to be scared. They were just simply curious what kind of evidence he'd gathered against them already. So from that point on, we reiterated to the remaining 9 to lay really low like a sleeper cell until we were ready to activate the plan. And speaking of the plan, now that we saw what we were up against, we knew we'd have to go full James Bond Q mode with some high-tech gadgetry that could make it past security. Which is why this first prank is just a water bottle. Kind of. I mean, it can function as a normal water bottle, but if you unscrew just this portion of the lid, it reveals a trough. And if you put military-grade putrid-smelling stuff in that trough and then screw the lid back on fully, it creates a perfect seal and you can't smell anything. But then at the exact precise moment you want to release a cloud of death, you just twist the lid like this, allowing the smell to escape through these holes and fill the room. Now we're using a water bottle because from looking at the CCTV footage, we know they allow them to have water bottles at their desks, so they'll be able to sneak them past security. Plus, no one's going to suspect that's the origin of the smell. Next up, if you take some hand soap and add just a few drops of the same kitchen-grade food coloring we used on the Devil's toothpaste explosion, then when you wash your hands, it will leave them stained for at least a day. We'll leave this in the bathroom, and as a bonus, we'll learn exactly who does and doesn't wash their hands. This next one is the most simple, but also perhaps the most effective. You take a box of Sudafed and then print out and paste on some of these labels and convert it to a box of Viagra. Then importantly, you add the name of the boss of the scam call center to the box, like it's his prescription, and then you leave it in the bathroom next to your trousseau. Next up is that custom-built box that can store cockroaches in it. So after a predetermined time delay, the microcontroller will trigger the stepper motor, which causes the wall to slide along this ball screw. That means if you disguise it in a lunchbox, then nothing happens until the timer expires. And then suddenly, you get a bunch of cockroaches crawling out of a lunchbox. Although you can put more than just cockroaches in here. And some other ideas we had were bees, because we heard India has some species that don't actually sting, as well as possibly rats, because we already knew from looking at their security footage that once released, the rats can make themselves right at home. And using a lunchbox for camouflage is once again a strategic choice, because we already knew from our recon work they always make it past security because no one actually checks what's inside. Next up, I love the idea of the chaos that could result if we set off a smoke bomb, but we were concerned that might be crossing a line if the room was too small, because like the glitter bombs, I want everything I do to be exciting, but at the end of the day, relatively harmless. So instead, we found these micro foggers that are basically like massive vape pens. And we also noticed motorcycle helmets were allowed onto the floor and past security. So the plan was to put it inside a helmet like this, and then it would also detonate itself based on a timer. And finally, as the pièce de résistance, we're going to deliver them a package. Only this isn't an ordinary package. It's Glitter Bomb 4.0, which of course, as we all know, is equipped with a pound of the world's finest glitter and an uncharitable amount of fart spray. And so now that our team, target, and plan were in place, after 1.5 years of prep work, it was time to avenge Bessie and execute the special operation. Step 1 was getting the Trilogy Media guys all the way over to India with all the contraptions stored securely in their luggage.
My guys stepping foot on Indian soil.
Now safely on the ground, step 2 was to go pick up those stingless bees that we could put in the lunchbox. But once they'd arrived to the beekeeper, they found out you can't just take a few bees, but you have to take the whole hive.
In the car, dude, no. They're gonna get out.
Also, apparently, there's no such thing as stingless bees.
Oh my god. Oh!
So we punted on that idea and headed to an open-air market where we could at least secure some rats. By the way, the Trilogy Media YouTube channel is composed of Ashton, who's a former magician, and Art, who played professional basketball in Russia for 8 years. They're just an incredible duo. And speaking of incredible things, this is a good time to point out that the real people of India were just so freaking lovely. It's true that nearly every scam call you get originates from that country, but everyone in India hates these scammers too. They are a tiny, tiny fraction of the total population, and no one wants to be defined by the worst in their midst. Most people we interacted with there had hearts more like Johnny, who's an honorary member of the team and a reformed scammer who's made it his life's mission to do whatever he can to take these guys down, even if that means working some back channels to get our hands on 100 cockroaches.
Alright, let's go.
So with the goods procured, it was time to meet up with our sleeper agents at the hotel to do some final prep on the contraptions, which went about as well as expected.
Seriously though, are we gonna test it right here? Right here? You can't do it in the bathroom?
In 16, 17.
Yeah, no, get him in, yeah. More the merrier.
I see.
Down. No!
Don't scream. It's okay.
Okay. Grab. Stop.
No, in.
God! Grab. Stop. No, please. Okay, pause. Accounted for, right, everyone?
I swear, I would not let you down.
We decided the first call center we'd hit would be Anch, and we were feeling optimistic about our chances. And that's exactly when our special operation received its first major blow. So apparently there's this WhatsApp group that 55,000 scammers all across India belong to, so the different scam call centers can communicate with each other. And because Johnny was still a member of this group from his former days, he saw this message pop up. 2 of us in the town of Kolkata have seen cuss word Trilogy people. We followed them, but the driver drove the car very fast to the Salt Lake side. There was 2 Indians with them, and they were shooting a movie. So apparently some scammers had recognized Art and Ashton at the market as the Trilogy Media YouTube guys, because they've confronted a lot of scammers in their 5 years of making videos. Now thankfully, just out of habit, Johnny was driving in a way that would make it hard for anyone to tail them, but they still were able to pinpoint their hotel location within about a half a mile. But then it got much worse. Might be they are working with the FBI, so I request all of our brothers to have an eye in Salt Lake, so whenever you see them, you shoot them. Which was super devastating, because it seemed pretty clear to me that we'd have to scrap the whole operation, because while the mission was important, it definitely wasn't worth anyone getting hurt. But when I brought this up to the guys, they'd already discussed it amongst themselves and decided this was a cause they were passionate enough about that they were willing to accept some risks. So we decided moving forward, Art and Ashton wouldn't step a foot outside their hotel room, and that's when the second major blow came. Because apparently the group text warning spooked the call scam center so much, they just changed up everyone's assignments, and they were planning on moving all 3 of our sleeper agents to a new floor where there was no CCTV coverage. But this is where we had a stroke of luck, because the last minute, Johnny thought to have another one of his reformed scammer friends apply for a job. And because he had so much experience on his resume, they hired him on the spot and gave him a more highly trusted role, which meant he could be the one to smuggle in all our gadgets. And so with that, he loaded up, headed in for battle, and an hour later, we had a man on the inside. And by the way, now that we're inside, I'll give you a very quick crash course on what we've learned about how these scam centers operate after watching them for so long. First of all, 90% of the victims are 65 years old or above.
I don't understand that. I don't understand all of this.
They really only make calls during the US working day hours and not on the weekends, because that maximizes their chance the person who picks up will be retired. This is why you never get scam calls on Sunday. They don't have anyone even working the phones. In fact, many of them have an auto dial prompt that says press 1 if you're over 65 years old, and if you press anything else, it just hangs up. The most common scam is the Amazon refund scam, but they also pretend to be Microsoft, McAfee, Norton Antivirus, the IRS, and your bank, and on and on. It's always changing, but it's also always something you've heard of, and try and build trust right out of the gate. If you want to know how much they make, well, that information unfortunately is securely held on the boss's computer, so we can't get to it. Although, I suppose if you had access to the internal cameras, you could just watch the boss type his password, and then you'd be able to access their master tracking spreadsheets, which is what we did, and how we know these large call centers make $60,000 per day. That's $18 million a year. An opener will take the initial calls, and they make an average of $7,000 a month. Then if they keep the victim on the phone long enough, they hand it over to a closer, and they make on average $15,000 a month. They never say the word scam or victim, instead referring to them as sales and customers. That way they just seem more like a normal office, although what I think does that job more convincingly are all the walls plastered with inspirational corporate words like synergy or management or process. So that's your crash course on how they operate. And the FTC has put out a list of 4 signs to help spot a scam and 4 things you can do to protect against them. And I'll link to it in the video description. And so now without further ado, we kicked things off with the stink bomb water bottle. And while that was marinating, he went to the bathroom and dropped off the hand soap and the special medication with the boss's name written on the front. And it didn't take long for us to get our first hit on the smell. What was great though is they all kind of covered their noses subtly in silence so the people next to them wouldn't feel accused. Well, for the most part. Then a few minutes later, we had our first bathroom customer who clearly doesn't wash her hands after using the restroom. But then we had a second chance with an apparently more hygienic scammer, and this time we struck pay dirt as he comes out trying to figure out what the heck just happened. And 5 minutes later, you can see him still trying to work it out. And not long after that, we got our first mention of the special package in the bathroom. Cut out here, but our agent told us they were laughing and wondering how the boss could possibly leave that lying around. Although it certainly doesn't feel too far off brand, given he uses this as his profile pic on Facebook. And at this point, our agent placed and then triggered the time delay countdown on the cockroach, rat, and smoke bomb traps, so we can now safely make his getaway. Have no idea what's about to happen. They're still just casually talking about the bathroom. And then a few moments later, the first boxes must have triggered because this guy notices a cockroach and notes his way out of there. And then he's quickly followed by the second dude. And I love it because now you just randomly see cockroaches start coming through. And so now that they know what they're up against, they call them the reinforcements with the mob. But it looks like he missed one. Or 2. Or 3. Actually 4. Scratch that. 5. And then as if perfectly on cue, right as the mop guy finishes his cleanup, the smoke begins. And this causes quite a commotion and draws quite a crowd, and it takes them a while. They're eventually able to pinpoint the source of the smoke and gingerly take it off the premises. Followed soon thereafter by our rat friends. And this is possibly my favorite clip of the whole night, where you see a cockroach lead the way and wander all around as they argue and try and make sense of what in the world is possibly happening. And by this point you can tell the boss is pretty sure they're under attack, but just to remove any sense of doubt, we sent them one final package. And they almost opened it right there, but I guess with everything else that had already happened so far that night, they took it downstairs. And then this happened.
Or you're thirsty for more?
Yeah, in fact there's 4 of them, and they're uploading this footage to the cloud.
उसने ये घास हुआ है और
3, 2, 1. Activation complete. Recovery sequence initiated.
So after our incredibly successful special operation, we waited to see what the response would be, and we didn't have to wait long. Yesterday, those cuss words sent Aunch Solutions a package bomb, and it exploded, and there was a bad smell and sprinkler water, or whatever it was. These guys are playing good with us. I'm reminding you guys, they must be in between us. We don't even know. And now we had them, because they were paranoid, and they didn't know which of their employees might have been compromised. Check the lunch boxes, pocket bags, shoes, ladies' purse as well. Even check the water, whether there's some color mixed in it. I assume he's referring to the soap dye here. But be cautious, guys, seriously. They came to bad word all of us, and they are still trying to bust us. After that, there were a few more death threats, so we didn't think it was safe enough to launch our attacks on the other 3 centers to try and get them shut down. But the beautiful thing is, we didn't have to. Big centers in Kolkata and Delhi are closed from today, as well as Monday, as per the information I got from all my friends. We had created enough confusion and mass panic that not only did the other 3 centers get shut down, but we got all the large scam centers all across India shut down for a few days too. And if you add it up, that means those tiny cockroaches stopped $2 million from going from the victims to the scumbags. And I would say that's the perfect ending, but it actually gets even a little better. Once Ashton and Art were safely back home on American soil, they decided to troll that text group with those 55,000 scammers by uploading this gem to the chat.
Surprise, surprise, scammers! Art and Ashton over here. No matter how many numbers you remove from this group, we're still watching. Not only that, we've also downloaded every single person's contact information, all 57,000 of them inside this group. We have every single one of your contact information. We're submitting it to the FBI in the United States and the CBI here in India, so you guys better run and you better watch out.
And so if you want to see how quickly the scammers started removing themselves from the chat group, as well as a lot more details of all their work on the ground over in India, you should go check out their video. And not surprisingly, Ansh and the other scam call centers eventually opened back up, albeit this time with much tighter security. But they still didn't, and still don't realize probably till this moment, that we have access to their live camera feeds. So Jim improvised a bit, calling them out by their real names without giving away the fact he was just looking at them on the camera.
Yeah, hi sir, my name is Carolina Fernandez. I am calling you from the Microsoft.
Oh, hi, Priya. Hi.
Who are you?
I'm a ghost. Yeah, I don't
Do
know
you know
what.
my father's name?
I don't know, but is your father proud of you? What you do? Does he think you work for Microsoft?
Yes, of course.
But you don't work for Microsoft. Did you tell him that? Will I tell you one more name?
Yes.
Soini. At least talk to me. Hello?
He also managed to change the way their voices sound when they would do outbound calls to their potential victims.
Who are you? I know I was leaving. Who are you?
You're speaking very strangely. What's up?
So to see a lot more of that quality entertainment, you should go check out his video. So after all that, we're sort of in a good news, bad news situation here. The good news is that because of some developments we've been involved in, the 4th center here is going to be raided by the authorities in India and shut down very, very soon. The bad news is that these other 3 are still very operational. And for reasons I can't say here, we don't have the same option to get them shut down like we do on the 4th one. Now you might ask, why not just privately reach out to the proper authorities in Kolkata where these 3 call centers are located? And the answer is, that's been tried before and it didn't work. While there are many good apples, there are a few bad apples that prevent anything from happening to these guys. So where does that leave us? Well, as they say, sunshine is the great disinfectant, and here's where you come in. We've invested a lot of resources and time and tried to make this video as entertaining as possible in the hopes that you'll consider sharing it for 2 reasons. Number 1, the more people are aware of how these scams work, the less effective they become and they lose their power. So please share it, especially with your older loved ones. And number 2, the more people that see this video and learn about these 3 specific call centers, the more the press will pick it up, especially in India. Heck, tweet our videos to the Kolkata police. This helps out the good apples because the bad ones can't just sweep all the evidence under the rug or quietly tip off the scam center bosses. The press and public can hold them accountable. We've seen this tactic work successfully in the past, and we have mountains of evidence against all these scam centers. If you are with the press or a law enforcement agency, send us an email to callcenterevidencepack@gmail.com and we'll share everything we have with you. If you combine them, these 3 centers have been in operation an astounding 29 years, and they're still scamming people of their life savings to this day, even right now as we release this video. So let's see what we can do. And depending on exactly what happens, I'll either post a follow-up video here on my YouTube channel or on my other social channels, so subscribe and all that stuff if you want to stay in the loop. Glitter bombs and cockroaches are just harmless entertainment, but our best chance of working together to shut these guys down for good is by shining a light to foster some accountability. Thanks for your help. Now let's make Bessie proud. I want to thank NordVPN for their support on this video. I've been using their service myself for over 3 years now because they really are the best at this. With Nord, you can surf the web anonymously, your location stays private, and your data is encrypted. Because even though I'm not a bad guy with something to hide, I generate a ton of information online every day, and I prefer that information wasn't sold or used against me in some way. Nord collects and stores absolutely nothing and makes it so others can't either. Plus, if you're traveling and you want your exact same internet experience at home, like to watch all the shows you're used to, it can virtually transport you to nearly 60 different countries. They also have a news service called Threat Protection, which is sort of like an umbrella and protects you from malicious sites, downloads, and trackers, even when you're not connected to a VPN. So if you travel, or you're just ready to take your privacy more seriously, you can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount plus 1 additional month free by going to nordvpn.com/MarkRover. And the good news is, if it's not right for you for any reason, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So once again, that's nordvpn.com/MarkRover, or use the link in the video description. Thanks for watching. And share with literally every person you've ever met or ever will meet, and let's get these punks shut down. This is a talking piano, and it's so cool. And his name is Chopsticks. So in addition to talking, he can play simple songs like that, but also like really complicated songs. So today, not only will we talk about the science behind making a piano speak human, but later, he's gonna play the drums for us and sing for us. Not yet, Chopsticks. Remember from my videos, that song usually comes a little bit later. Then he's gonna attempt to play the world's most complicated digital piano song from sheet music boss, Rush D. There's a reason this song has never been played with an actual real-life piano, so I've legitimately got a couple fire extinguishers on hand in case the whole thing goes up in flames. But before we get to any of that, we need to first understand the really cool engineering behind how pianos even work. Because if you look at the guts of this modified see-through piano, for something that was invented by an Italian dude 300 years ago, you can see it's pretty complicated. In fact, if you zoom in and just isolate on a single key, this is what's happening every time you push down on the white part. And if you're thinking like an engineer, you know the best design is always the one that gets the job done in the most simple way possible. And when I first saw this, no offense to Bartolome Cristofori, the inventor of the piano, it just seemed overly complicated. I mean, the first piano I ever played was pretty dang simple. Like, why can't you just have a class 1 lever where when I push down here, there's a fulcrum in the middle and it hits the string here? Well, it turns out there's 2 problems with that right off the bat. The first is that the hammer remains in contact with the string when you hold the key down. That means the string isn't free to wiggle and vibrate, which is how the sound is created. Like with this guitar, it sounds great until you touch the strings. And now because it can't vibrate, you don't hear anything. In fact, you can see that's exactly the problem with this toy piano. The second problem is this is an upright piano, so the strings must be vertical to fit. But that's an easy enough fix if we shift them here and add an extra hinge point. However, you'll notice we're still damping the string. And as you can see, The piano should continue making sound even if I'm holding the key down. So how do we do that? Well, Bartolomeo got real clever and added a little extra hardware here. So now when you press the key, this jack flings the hammer forward so it hits the string, but then the jack gets its foot caught, which moves it out of the way so the hammer can move back and not dampen the string. Fun fact, most people think pianos are considered string instruments, but this hammer-like action is why they're actually classified as percussion. Okay, so now if I press the key down, it will continue to make noise. But wait, if I let my finger go, the sound should stop. So something is damping that string. But if you look at our current build, you can see if I let the key go, there's nothing to stop the string from just continuing to vibrate and make sound. To solve this, Bartolomeo added an extra pivot point and some more hardware. So now you see this damper rests on the string and keeps it quiet until you press the key down. Then the hammer strikes, then it's free to vibrate and create noise all the way up to the moment the key is released. And finally, if I want to play a note really quickly and repeatedly like this, I need the hammer to be close to the string and not way back here like this. So by adding this backstop, it keeps the hammer close after each hit in case I need to quickly hit it again. So there you have it. Apologies to my fellow engineer Bartolomeo. It turns out it's only as complicated as it needs to be and no more. It's also sort of simplistically beautiful that all that functionality is from only one input every time you press a single key. Now Chopsticks here is a special case, not only because he's see-through, but because he can play himself. And it is true, pianos that play themselves have been around for over 100 years, but there's an important difference here. An old player piano works by scrolling through a paper sheet like this, and when it encounters a hole, it passes air through which plays the key. So all the keys are played at full force, and the timing isn't very precise. Whereas Chopsticks here is a modern version that uses a solenoid to actuate the key. We place the solenoids right here, so when the rod extends, it's no different than someone actually pressing the key. You can see them all lined up along here. But with solenoids, not only do you get your timing down to fractions of a second, but you have 127 different levels of increasing force to press a piano key, which means you can make perfect recreations of a human player. So here's my friend Andrew from the YouTube channel Sheet Music Boss playing a simple sea shanty and then recording it as a MIDI, and then Chopsticks uses that MIDI to play it back perfectly. Only since he's not limited to a mere 10 human fingers, the songs can get more complicated. But he can do even better than that, because those 88 precision solenoids allow him to make crude reproductions of entire bands. See if you can pick out the singer's actual voice in this classical piece of music history. And so now that we know at least partially what he's capable of, before we attempt Rushy, let's quickly discuss how we actually make Chopsticks speak and sing. Chopsticks. That's better. And to do that, I'm going to pass it over to my buddy Grant from the YouTube channel 3 Blue 1 Brown for a simple explanation.
The signals from speech can be visualized with a waveform, which you might think of as telling you the air pressure next to a microphone is a function of time. If you zoom in on a little window of it, you might notice it looks like a rhythmic repeating pattern. As it happens, one of the most delightful facts from math tells us that for pretty much any signal, you can express it as a sum of pure sine waves, which in the context of sounds correspond to pure pitches, higher frequency sine waves giving you higher pitches. If you want to perfectly reconstruct the original signal, this often requires adding a very large number of pure sine waves, each with a different height. Now, a favorite tool in signal processing is something called a Fourier transform, which you can think of as telling you the heights of each one of these sine waves as a function of the frequency you're dealing with. So for a piano project, if you take this Fourier transform and you just consider the peaks, it's a way of giving you the most important notes to be played to recreate the sound. If you add just a handful of these dominant frequencies, you'll get a signal which is almost but not quite the original signal. And if we do this process across many different little windows of our full signal, it's a way of telling us what notes should be played at what time and with what level of intensity. And if you you do it right, you can get something that sounds like this.
Hey Chopsticks, repeat after me. Now I do have to come clean and admit that I am cheating a little bit by putting the words Chopsticks is speaking up on the screen. As humans, 80% of the information our brains gather about our surroundings comes from our sense of sight. And so as our dominant sense, our brain really leans on our eyes even when processing what we hear. If you don't believe me, here's 2 tests you can do right now. Number 1, go back and rewatch any part of this video where Chopsticks is speaking. Only this time, close your eyes and see how much harder it is to understand him. And number 2, maybe you've heard this audio clip from some random 80s toy saying the word green needle. Now compare that to this other clip that says brainstorm. Only as you might have guessed, those are the exact same audio clip, which is bonkers because those 2 words don't even have the same number of syllables. For proof, I'll repeat it twice more, only this time you can randomly pick a word to look at each time. Alright, and so now for the big finale. In a world's first exclusive, I present an actual piano attempting to play the world's hardest piano song, Rush E. Of course, buddy. Good luck. Try and teach you something is that it's just not very interactive. Which is why I'm pleased to say my friends at Brilliant.org, who just so happen to be supporting this video, have solved this issue. And if you don't know, Brilliant is a problem-solving website and app that has over 60 courses, including topics in math, science, and computer science. But their real special sauce is all about making the content interactive, which is way more effective at building your intuition. My favorite one so far is their scientific thinking course, where instead of memorizing specific formulas, that interactivity builds intuition about general principles you see in the everyday world around you. And it works great on both desktop and mobile, so instead of picking up your phone and mindlessly scrolling a newsfeed that leaves you feeling sad, with Brilliant you get this addictive experience which leaves you feeling stoked by unlocking the hidden principles that govern our amazing world. So if you want to grow your brain and support my channel at the same time, go to brilliant.org/MarkRover or use the link in the video description to sign up for free, because the first 2,000 people get 20% off their annual membership. So thanks to Brilliant for making learning fun, thanks to Chopsticks for not catching fire and burning my place down, and of course thanks to you for watching. This is a t-shirt cannon. And this is a cannon that just happens to shoot a t-shirt. That went farther than anticipated. But to understand the convoluted path for how I ended up here, and eventually right here, and who the heck this kid is, we gotta first go back a few months, because that's when I was hanging out with my friend who had an odd request. Explain what it is you're looking for me.
Well, my dream is the world's most powerful t-shirt cannon. A t-shirt cannon that could possibly kill.
Now to be fair, his request sorta did make sense, given he had a college football bowl game named after him, and he didn't want to disappoint the fans. And I didn't want to disappoint a friend, so my first thought was to save myself a lot of time on the design by just shooting a t-shirt from an actual cannon. But to do that, I would need to answer one key question. Just how powerful is a real cannon? And we're about to find out. 6 ounces of black powder behind a t-shirt in an actual Civil War cannon. Let's see what the heck happens. This is science. And while we load that in, let's review the simple mechanics of how a cannon works. Basically, the gunpowder goes here, cannonball goes here. Then you light the gunpowder and it turns into a gas and expands very quickly. And then the gases are like, dude, it's suddenly way too crowded in this small space for us. We gotta get out of here. And because all these walls are way too strong, the best option is down the barrel. And since the ball happens to be in the way, it gets pushed along for the ride with all the escaping gas. They just told me to keep my mouth open. I don't know why. Oh! Yes! I'm not sure the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl is gonna allow me to fire these into the crowd. I might have to pivot. So obviously an actual cannon was way too powerful, but to understand by just how much, it was time for the most on-brand measurement device I know, the watermelometer. It's watermelon time. So while we enjoyed the fruits of our labors, I was already thinking of a plan B, and I knew just where to turn. This is Anthony. He was being interviewed by the local news because he invented a really cool ventilator made out of Legos.
Right here, there is area for a oxygen tube.
So after he explained how it works, they asked about his future life plans.
I want to be a mechanical engineer, and what would be amazing is if I would be able to do a co-op or something with the YouTuber Mark Rober.
With who?
The YouTuber Mark Rober.
Oh, he's my favorite YouTuber, so yeah, good luck.
Well, clearly only one of these three was going to be my future boss, so I tracked him down, and his parents told him one more local news station wanted to talk about his build. What's up, Anthony? I have an engineering challenge that I need some help on. Are you my guy?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You know, have you ever seen in a game they have like t-shirt cannons?
Yeah.
I thought it would be cool to make the world's largest, most powerful t-shirt cannon for like a local high school game here. And this was a bit of a white lie. My real plan was to get Anthony to design it for me, then he would attend what he thought was an ordinary football game, then I would surprise him by showing up and telling him it was time to fire his creation in front of 50,000 people. But first I needed his idea, so we started riffing on how he could design this thing. This back section we could kind of fill.
It'd be funny if, I don't know, there's like a chariot beside it that held like a giant air tank in it.
So that, maybe in like that, we could hide it or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, pal. It's really great to meet you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
And now that I knew what Anthony had in mind, all we needed was a 10-second build montage to make the thing. Time to load the slug. This is about a 3-pound ball of rags. Let's see what happens. This is the first test fire. Here we go. And there wasn't a lot of space at this location, so this first shot was about 1/3 full power. 3, 2, 1. Oh no, I think we killed the dog. Now it was up to me to go full sandlot and retrieve this thing. So thankfully, both me and the donkey survived, but it was time to head to a bigger field so we could really test the full capabilities of the cannon. Dare anyone to get in my way. Now I quickly want to mention, to really appreciate the challenge ahead of us, you have to appreciate that SoFi, where the game was going to be played, is just a massive stadium. So the goal of the game was for Jimmy's sidekick Guillermo to be in the top row, and then Anthony, Jimmy, and I would be down on the field, so this is the correctly scaled shot that we'd have to hit. And since we know the horizontal and vertical measurements to that seat, we placed a drone in the sky at that exact location, and our goal was basically to hit that drone. That seems incredibly far away. I've never built anything that could remotely shoot that far. 3, 2, 1, go! And that first shot was at about 2/3 full power, and you can see it was well short of the drone and had a trajectory sort of like this. It also presented some other issues. Look at that bag, dude. Oh, did we bust? Oh, we ripped a hole. That's tapeable. And after that, we decided just to give it all the power she had and cross our fingers. This is the Big Mama, 500 PSI, 8 pounds. This is like a real life cannon. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, that tape. That tape didn't do so hot. And considering our payload weighed 8 pounds, which is basically a gallon of milk, this was a bomb of a shot. But as you can see from the viewpoint of the top seat, it wasn't far enough. Now I just want to remind you, this is how far a normal wimpy t-shirt cannon shoots one shirt, whereas our cannon was shooting the equivalent weight of 25 shirts at this trajectory, and yet it still wasn't going to cut it. And so we stayed there the whole day, and there were a bunch more tests I won't bore you with, but the punchline was that no matter what we tried, we couldn't make it to Guillermo in the top row. So I had to call Anthony to give him the bad news and try and figure out what to do next. What's up, Anthony? How's it going, buddy?
It's been going really good.
And lucky for me, he'd been hard at work.
Yeah, I'm really busy.
So we got right into it, and for the first issue of the bag ripping, he suggested we replace our canvas bag with something stronger.
Kevlar?
He had another suggestion to protect our bag, though.
Something to produce drag, like a parachute.
And then he went on to tell me how he'd anticipated this would be an issue, which is why he'd spent the last 2 weeks designing, building, and testing a system that could release a parachute after a prescribed time delay, and that's when I realized he would be my boss sooner than I first anticipated. Next, he told me 3 modifications to make it shoot farther, but before I tell you how he was exactly right, we need to review how the t-shirt cannon actually works. So it's the exact same principle as the real cannon, but instead of using gunpowder to make an explosion to make it all super crowded with gas, you take a high-pressure tank like this and put some of that high-pressure air in its accumulator tank. And then once again, all the gas in that tank is like, it's way too crowded, we gotta get out of here. So when you open this valve, it's a mad dash down the barrel, and the t-shirt just happens to be in the way, so it goes for the ride just like the cannonball. And this is the same principle as shooting a spitball with a straw. It's the same principle that powered my Nerf gun, my Super Soaker, and pretty much any system that uses air to launch stuff. So his first suggestion was a bigger tank, and this makes sense because it would sustain the force on the t-shirt instead of like with a small tank where you just get a brief poof. And he went on to mention his second idea.
Or like a longer barrel so it can really get up to speed.
And this is also true, which is why rifles shoot faster bullets than handguns. And his third suggestion was to increase the size of the connecting tube here, so instead of necking down,
you just have it go straight to the final diameter.
And that means there's no traffic jams as the air rushes out, which means it can get out faster. And so after that call, we went back and pretty much instituted all of Anthony's suggestions in some form or another. And I was feeling like we were back in the game. And so after another full day of testing, this is where we stood. 8-inch cannon, 13-pound mortar, with the parachute, 500 PSI. Roll the drone, here we go. Fire! Parachute! The big bomb! We basically shot nearly 2 gallons of milk over a 30-story building, and it traveled for 2.5 football fields, which put us way beyond the Guillermo spot. Plus, Anthony's parachute system kicked in at just the right moment, so his Kevlar bag landed in pristine shape. And by the way, you might be wondering what's in this massive bag. Well, the world's largest t-shirt cannon naturally should shoot the world's largest t-shirt. Probably. I haven't looked it up, but this has got to be the world's largest. Look at this thing. So the next step is to actually head to SoFi and show this to the lawyers and see if they'll let us shoot it. And right off the bat, the lawyers were like, yeah, you're gonna have to use the smaller barrel and payload. Because of like safety or something, I don't know. The goal is to bomb a t-shirt from right here, literally, to the very last seat in the nosebleed section of the stadium. Thanks to Anthony's work, never again will the fine folks in the nosebleed section be robbed of an amazing t-shirt. So we decided to start at 1/3 power in an attempt to shoot a shot like this, and then we could work our way up. But that is not what happened. Oh my gosh! Anthony, what have you done? Out of the park, baby! And not being sure if that was a fluke or not, we tried the same power level again, and this time we dude perfected the crud out of it. With a bank shot off the roof. The bank shot, baby! And after that, we decided it was prudent to reduce the power further to 1/4 full pressure, which was killing me, because if they would have let us open that to full, based off our previous test, we could have Uncle Rico'd it from this end zone out the stadium and well into the parking lot. But, you know, lawyers. Let's have it! And so this was our third and final shot at that reduced 25% full pressure. We literally just at the back of the seat of the very top row in the entire arena. And that perfectly accomplished our objective down to a few inches, which was a huge weight off my shoulders because I felt like we were locked on Anthony's design, and I remember my first experiences with engineering, and I really wanted this to be a grand slam for him. And so after a few last-minute cosmetic modifications, game day had arrived. And as the team started warming up, the stands started filling up. Okay, we just received word Anthony is on the premises, but he's not in his seat yet, so it's time for me to go incognito. And to do that, I needed a prop borrowed from my buddy Adam Savage. It's a beard, but it's like glasses, friggin' beard glasses. Pretty cool. Stealing my cameraman's hat, like an ice road trucker. Oh yeah. You can't even tell that's me. I'm more nervous, I think, about the surprise than I am about actually firing the cannon. There they are, they just sat down. All right, let's do this. We're sneaking up behind Anthony. He's in his seats right now. He has no idea what's going on. This is hands down my favorite part of this job. I love a freaking good surprise. Here we go. You like football? What's up, buddy? You like my beard disguise? I heard you were here, so I decided to come down and say hi.
I am shaking.
Look, I'm shaking just as much. So, I've got to be honest. You know that cannon we've been designing? We designed it for this game. And at halftime, you're going to go out with me and Jimmy Kimmel, and we're going to fire in front of 50,000 people. And then the teams came back out on the field, and the game began. And as the quarter progressed, the anticipation was building.
You got anything else planned for us that we should know about?
I do. We built the world's most powerful t-shirt cannon. It is an enormous, very, very powerful projectile device, and we're going to do that at halftime.
And so with halftime just around the corner, we went to check out his creation. What do you think, buddy?
That looks amazing.
And I had to explain that because of his help, we couldn't go more than 25% pull power. We couldn't crank it all the way up to 550, but that's how you bomb it out of the stadium.
That's how you break a window.
Yeah, that'll break a window.
I'm really excited.
You excited? Me too. Are you nervous?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, buddy. 2 minutes left. You ready?
Yeah.
Don't think about the 50,000 people watching, okay? Just don't think about that part. And then it was go time.
Mark Rober, who is a former NASA engineer, he built a very powerful t-shirt cannon. You want to show it to us, Mark?
Yeah, that's right, with my buddy Anthony. He did all the hard work to design it, I just built the thing.
You think this is going to work, Anthony?
Yeah, I definitely think so, but maybe not.
And there's Anthony already qualifying his statements like a true engineer. We do not want to fire it directly into this section.
Do not kill anyone, Mark. We are going to be the first bowl game to put a t-shirt on the moon.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, it's going to be loud. Cover your ears. 1. Wow. Incredible. Through the roof. I've been told we've been out of the stadium. We went out of the stadium.
Well, that was very exciting. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good job, buddy. We did it. What'd you think?
That was insane.
That was all you, pal. Good job. Thanks, Jimmy. And so even after doing our best to appease the lawyers at 1/4 power, Anthony just noped it right out of the park. So after that, we went back and enjoyed the second half, as I just hope you would remember this experience for a really long time, so that I could at least have a leg up one day when I apply to work for his company. This guy stole a package from my car, and a different guy stole my package from a porch, and he's about to open it in his car.
Hello.
But what he doesn't realize is this is the 4th generation of a new and improved custom-built bait package that is recording him on 4 phones and just released a count of the world's finest glitter, and he's about to discover the other 5 new surprises for this year. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't it a bit excessive to spend the last 4 years of your life trying to engineer the perfect revenge for porch pirates just because someone stole your package a few years ago and the police wouldn't do anything about it? And to that I say no. And I'm gonna keep doing it every Christmas until we can make a dent in the 2 million packages that are stolen from porches every year. Plus, it's become such a delightful engineering challenge for me to try and think of all the different ways that we can upgrade it. And so with that, this is Glitter Bomb 4.0. And that is the first of 5 major upgrades this year. The lid shoots off as soon as the package thief tries to open. Our original design to pull this off was a flywheel that spun up at irresponsibly dangerous speeds. Then we lowered these wheels to make contact with the flywheel, and they shared an axle with the gear, which then used a rack and pinion to launch the lid. But that was just way too over-engineered, even for my lofty over-engineering standards. So that's when we pivoted to a pneumatic system, but space is limited in the box. So we had to custom design these aluminum pressure tanks with a little help from my friends at Protolabs. They hooked me up and made 6 of these in like 2 days, which is why they're mine and your best friend for quick turnaround machine parts like this. So the tank is filled with air pressurized to 80 psi, and it's nestled here in the base. And then with the top half on, this Hall effect sensor right here can sense a magnet attached to the lid. So when the lid is lifted, it triggers the air to rush into the pistons, and the box and gloves do the rest. And the second major improvement is this carbon, because that just feels like it's going to make things more exciting for everyone. So when the lid first pops off, it actually sounds a little bit more like that. Then the third upgrade is the design of the glitter cup itself. This year, instead of an open cup like this that spits all the glitter out in one shot, we have a 2-chambered cup like this, which means we get to fire the glitter 3 separate times. So the way it works is you pour glitter in the top chamber here, and it fills up both chambers. Then when the cup spins, the glitter in the lower chamber flies up and out the sides, but the glitter in the upper chamber is trapped due to the centrifugal force. Then when the cup stops spinning, gravity basically loads the next batch of glitter in the lower chamber for us. And so now, of course, it's ready to fly out on the next spin, and so on. This totally passive solution means we get to save 1 of our 3 glitter fires this year for when we get to the end of the Out Loud countdown sequence. Now, of course, you'll still see the standard 4 phones here that record the thief in all directions and upload the footage to the cloud, as well as these 4 canisters filled with 20% more fart spray of legitimately the worst smell you could possibly imagine, as demonstrated by the time I almost killed Macaulay Culkin himself. I still smell it. The fourth upgrade is we have a dedicated onboard microphone to record continuous audio once the package is stolen, and the fifth is this outer casing is now made from this opaque machined acrylic. That means the entire glitter bomb now glows much brighter to light up the scene if it's open in the dark, and it just looks really dope when the whole box pulses red and blue as we play the fake police scanner chatter a few minutes after being open, to further encourage the thief to get rid of the box so we can recover it. And then the final upgrade for this year isn't actually on the glitter bomb itself. Last year we developed these doormats that would covertly charge the box on these contacts so it would be at full battery whenever it got stolen. That was fantastic, but a lot of boxes would be taken at night, which was leading to footage that just wasn't that great. So to solve for that this year, we designed these planter boxes, and when the sun goes down, the side raises up and they autonomously slide over to swallow up the glitter bomb, concealing it from any would-be thieves in the night without the homeowner needing to hassle with bringing it in and out every day. Then of course in the morning, the process reverses and the box is ready to go. So now when the bad guy comes sneaking by in the day and steals it off the porch, the batteries are all at 100% charge and the box knows it's no longer on the mat, so it starts recording and uploading footage to the cloud, in addition to texting us that it's been stolen and sending GPS location updates. And so if you compare Glitter Bomb 1.0 through 4.0, you can really see the design evolution. And while my lawyers have already made it very clear that I am not allowed to sell this, if I did, it might look something like this.
Glitter Bomb 4.0 is our most advanced glitter bomb ever. Beautiful, complex, yet simple. A sleek and porch-informed design now includes a car horn from a Toyota Corolla and 20% more fart spray. A completely redesigned multi-spray glitter cup with a pound of our finest biodegradable glitter means your porch pirate will remember this moment for a very long time, but especially in direct sunlight. Oh, and there is one more thing. Introducing the world's first self-launching lid. Glitter Bomb 4.0. Because sometimes revenge is a dish best served fabulously.
support more efforts like this, you can rock this stylish wireframe glitter bomb hoodie here, or we've also got this cool retro pop art version for 4.0 with the boxing gloves, available of course only at markrubber.com. And so now all that was left to do was to put it out on porches all across America and wait. And we didn't have to wait long. Wait a sec, is that who I think it is? And sure enough, Fort Nuts had run out of walnuts, so instead of trying to make an honest squirrel's living, Fat Gus had apparently turned to a life of crime. And speaking of which, I'd like to quickly point out that whether squirrels are stealing your birdseed so you build them an obstacle course, or humans are stealing your packages so you go full Home Alone, the beauty about being an engineer is you can come up with clever solutions for your real-life challenges. It's like a superpower, but a superpower you can learn, and I'd love to see other people catch that spark, which is why a few times a year, I teach a month-long creative engineering course, and enrollment for the New Year's session is open starting right now. Over the course of a month, you're going to watch me design and create 3 builds from scratch, but the best part is, I'm going to guide you through finishing 3 creative builds of your own. So whether you're a complete beginner or an experienced engineer, classes are designed to meet you wherever you're at and level up your skills. So go to monthly.com/markrober or use the link in the video description, then go sign up as a New Year's resolution goal, and let's hang out making some cool stuff. And now for the sparkly caramel. So he hides it under some clothes, and a few minutes later, he brings in a consultant.
Trapped in the bus. No.
This guy wins the award for our most contemplative thief ever. I've sped this footage up to double time. So we hope to make up his mind with a 3rd round of glitter, fart spray, and then the countdown.
15, 14.
Stealing a glitter bomb wasn't a bad enough choice already, this guy doubles down and decides to open it in his car. And it's worth mentioning, of course, we have to make multiple glitter bombs because sometimes they do take a beating. And yet they battle through the pain like champs. And they're referring to our dead giveaway shipping label here with Harry and Marv on Wet Bandit Way.
I feel bad, but I
And apparently they landed heads, because a few hours later, this happened. This guy stole it and took it straight to a pawn shop to try and negotiate a deal.
No, give me 100 real quick. No, 100 is brand new. Come on. The rest of it's kind of weird. No, let's check out 21. The opener is just in the heart. 100. 100.
help us rinse off all the glitter. Followed up with a light dusting. Last year, if you might recall, we went up to San Francisco, aka the car breaking capital of the world, and got a glitter bomb taken in a matter of minutes. And while we never got them to actually open the box, it did have an interesting conclusion. So this year, naturally, we went back, and at the end of day one, we had no takers. But then we stopped for like 2 minutes to get some snacks for the trip home, and when we came back to the car, we saw this. They took the backpack with the GoPros, but left the freaking glitter bomb. So now it was definitely on. So we went back to that exact spot the next day, and within 10 minutes, this happened. And you can see here just how quickly they work. You can literally hear them doing another smash and grab here, not 4 minutes after they smashed our window. And unfortunately, in all the jostling of stolen goods, the glitter bomb had a false trigger, and they were on to us. So for keeping track at home, that's car thieves with 3 points and me with 0, without a single ounce of glitter being fired. Now, I'm not proud of that, but there is a silver lining here because the police rolled up on us after this break-in, and let's just say they are both familiar with and fans of the work being done here. In fact, they were actually tracking the guys that smashed our window, but then they lost them. So next year I'll be joining forces with them in some capacity, and I'm giving a Mark Rober guarantee that I'm gonna get some points on the board, and perhaps uncover how these guys run their whole operation in the process. So make sure you're subscribed if you don't wanna miss that. But it wasn't just the police who heard about the glitter bomb this year. Just like before, we also put some glitter bombs by a few group mailboxes, and I'm happy to report that the overwhelming majority of people do the right thing and either don't take it or even go out of their way, like this nice lady. In fact, they were stolen approximately half as often as last year. So either people are getting more honest, or perhaps, I don't know, enough people have seen these videos that it's the devastating power of glitter that's encouraging more civil behavior. And I'll just leave you with 2 pieces of evidence that kind of seem to support this working theory.
I see that on cheap, man. What's it do? What the fuck? What? The glitter that he showed on TV was sticky kind. Taking stuff in the front of the house. God, right in my house. That thing has a tracer on it too. The cops are gonna be right outside.
And then I'm wondering if it's one of those package feed things that spread out fart and glitter. But this thing is start talking, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So just don't skip packages because it's not nice. But if you do need some extra incentive, just know you might be opening next year's glitter bomb. And trust me, you don't want to meet version 5.0. I'm gonna attempt to collect 30 million pounds of trash from this river all by myself. But there's a catch, because Mr. Beast and his boys and a butt ton of volunteers are gonna try and beat me to it by collecting 30 million pounds of trash from this beach. Now I know what you're thinking. Psh, Mark, 1 versus 1,000 hardly seems like a fair fight. And you'd be right, except for one minor detail I neglected to mention. I actually do have one other teammate, who just so happens to be a floating 50-ton trash-eating robot. You gotta play to your strengths, right? All right, dude, you ready to start this competition?
Dude, we've been going. Look at all these people.
What? Go, 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 go. You started already. So with the trash picking competition officially underway, while Mr. Beast and his crew performed manual labor like a bunch of lame humans,
all the trash stuff is blowing on me.
All me and my autonomous robot had to do was wait. And we didn't have to wait long. I love the idea of Jimmy getting all sweaty on the beach, picking up trash the old-fashioned way, while I just let it all come to me. We got some eggs, looks like a Go-Gurt. Oh, what do we got here? This is a Cola Real. Come on, man, this isn't even open. So Jimmy and his crew got off to an early lead, and I can confidently say that's thanks to their premature start and not their trash collection techniques.
Jimmy! Yeah? The ocean's putting more trash on the beach.
But by this point, my robot had also started firing on all cylinders and was closing the gap, which makes this the perfect time to explain exactly how it works. And to do that, let's go back in time a few days to when I first showed up here. Hey, what's up, Boyan?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome on the Interceptor.
Nice place you got here. That is Boyan Slat. He's the reason this robot exists, and his origin story for caring about trash in the ocean comes from something that happened to him more than a decade ago.
When I was 16 years old, I went scuba diving in Greece, and I looked around me, and I just saw more plastic bags than fish, and I was just so disappointed by that I thought, why can't we just clean this up? That kind of started a few things for me.
Which is a humble way of saying it led him to founding a non-profit organization called the Ocean Cleanup with the audacious goal to rid the ocean of all trash and plastic. So naturally that involves removing trash directly from the ocean itself. But if you think about it, that's only half the problem, because to make a lasting impact, you've also got to cut the pollution off at the source and turn the spigot off. And as it turns out, 80% of the plastic flowing to the ocean from rivers comes from just 1% of the rivers. So their idea is to put these trash-eating robots on those worst offending rivers, and that will go a long way to fixing the problem at the source. So that's the strategy behind these. Now to the juicy part, to how these river interceptor robots actually work. So step one is to anchor it near the bank of the river, and then as trash floats down the river, it runs into this barrier on the surface of the water, which shepherds the trash towards the mouth of the thing. And then once the trash is funneled in, it travels up this conveyor belt, after which it's dropped in one of these 6 floating dumpsters. And the fact that they float is really clever, because it means once they're full, the interceptor can stay put, while the dumpsters are flotiled down the river, where whatever can be recycled is recycled, and the rest is properly disposed of using the local waste management system. On top of that, it's got solar panels and a rainwater collection system, so it's fully off the grid. And thanks to some onboard AI technology, the trash collection happens essentially autonomously. And importantly, it's Boyan's nonprofit that provides the interceptor, but it's the local government and communities that implement, operate, and maintain it. This one is in the Dominican Republic, and it's run locally by their naval officers, who are just incredibly lovely to work with, by the way. Oh, and as a final point, that floating barrier sticks only 1.5 feet deep into the water, which means while the trash gets captured on the surface, the fish can swim back and forth under it all day long. Or as Boyan puts it,
It's very good at catching plastic, it's terrible at catching fish.
unless you're a dead fish, then it'll catch you.
If you're already dead and filled with gas, you will be caught.
Then you will be caught. So by this point, Jimmy and the boys had an ever-growing pile of trash.
Pile's looking pretty nice. If I was you, I'd be getting a little nervous.
I'm a wee bit nervous, but the good news was that thanks to the steady consistency of my robot, I had now overtaken them as the leader in the amount of trash collected. But even better was that while they continued to labor away in the hot sun, I just left mine on autopilot and took the opportunity to go enjoy the natural beauty of the Dominican beaches and make friends and hang out with some of the locals and even have this amazing Disney princess of a moment. And while I don't speak manatee, I think she was coming to say thank you on behalf of all the ocean creatures for us doing our part to keep the trash out of their home. And after that, my curiosity got the best of me, so I went to check out their progress firsthand. And after a brief display of dominance, keep it up, boys! Keep it up!
You want to come help us?
I'm picking up trash right now. Look at that, a cushion, a couch cushion. This is a live feed of what's going on right now.
There's a lot of couches in the ocean. That's like 8 of my shovels a second.
Back to work. I eventually helped them out because I'm such a nice guy, even going as far as to offer to place their hard-earned trash definitely in their own pile for them, so it counts towards their total and not mine. So as the sun set over the city, I made some new friends who, after I introduced myself, kept pronouncing my name as Gringo for some reason. And right there behind me, you could see the robot was just powering on, because that's what robots do. Collecting trash for me through the night, so I continued to add to my totals even while I slept. The next day started out nice, but then rained hard for a few hours, which increased the trash in the river quite a bit. In fact, they told me after a heavy rain, all 6 dumpsters can get filled in a single day, which seemed just crazy to me. So when I asked where all the trash was coming from, we took a trip up the river, and before long, the source of the trash became pretty obvious. Anytime we saw a canal like this meant to carry rainwater to the river, and there were a lot of them, it would be filled with trash that washes down from the communities near the river. And even worse, you could see sometimes how people would throw trash off the side of a cliff down to the river as an improvised trash dump. And part of me felt really frustrated by this until we parked the boat and actually visited one of these communities. And out of the gate, I saw a soccer ball and tried to showcase some of my moves. But after they put me in my place, I knew my only recourse was to go full Sammy Sosa on them. And talked with them, it became apparent pretty quickly the trash ends up in the river because there are no other options. You and I have the luxury of putting our trash in a bin and rolling it out to the curb, and then it's magically empty by the end of the day. In the developed cities in the Dominican Republic, this is of course how it also works. But in these remote poor communities, there are a lot of challenges that prevent this, such as just not being accessible by big trash trucks, which means they just don't have somewhere to put their waste. So whatever doesn't make it to the river just piles up in their own village. And in talking with the leaders in these communities, it's clear they're passionate about being part of the solution. And the Dominican government, in conjunction with the UN, is proactively working together with their own people to come up with custom long-term solutions and be an example to the rest of the world. The point is, everyone involved here knows that Interceptor is not intended to be the permanent fix.
Ultimately, we want to help ourselves out of business, and the sooner the better. There will come a day that we can just get rid of these interceptors, and there's no more plastic coming down these rivers. But until that day comes, we need to stop it from going into the ocean.
In the end, by the time I wrapped up my work at the Interceptor, we ended up making 2 trips with the dumpsters down the river so the waste could be properly disposed of. Even though I basically did no manual labor to make this happen, there's still like a sense of pride here for some reason. I don't know. We did it. So after getting the total weight recorded, all that was left to do now was to meet back up with Jimmy. Wow, this is a certified butt ton right here. How much did you get?
I got it right here. How much did you get?
It's on my paper. I'm not showing you. Spoiler alert, it's much, much less than 30 million pounds. Okay, so before we show you our papers here and reveal who won, man versus machine, if you're watching this video, we need your help to get this pile of trash to 30 million pounds. And buckle up, because the next 2 months are gonna be crazy. Now for context, 2 years ago, the internet demanded we start Team Trees. And not only did we band together and reach our goal of planting 20 million trees by 2020, but people are still planting on average 2,600 trees per day on teamtrees.org. So in order to actually get 30 million pounds of trash and plastic out of the freaking ocean, we're following up Team Trees with Team Seas. And we've spent the last 8 months working with the perfect nonprofit cleanup organizations for this goal. And even though it was difficult, they guaranteed us that for every single dollar we raise, there will be 1 less pound of plastic and trash in the ocean. And that's just bonkers.
That literally means that for every $1 donated, this much trash comes out of the ocean. And for $5, this much trash comes out of the ocean.
And we're gonna pull this off by not just tackling trash in the ocean, but cutting off the trash sources at the rivers and beaches too. So half the money we raise will go to Boyan's charity, the Ocean Cleanup, so they can just make a butt ton more of these trash-eating robots, and then they'll place them in that 1% of rivers that are the worst offenders by far. And then the other half of the money will go to Ocean Conservancy, and they'll focus on the beaches with tons of volunteer beach cleanups, and then of course actually going out to sea and cleaning up a bunch of trash there as well. And so we need your help, because 30 million less pounds of trash in the ocean really means we're trying to raise $30 million by the end of the year, in just 2 months.
Which is insanity, and exactly why we banded together the entire YouTube community, heck, all of social media, to help us hit our goal by the end of the year.
Go Team Seas!
Let's do this.
We're saving the oceans in 2 ways.
I don't know if you realize, we can do this.
I'm excited for Team Seas.
Oceans, good. Team Seas, good.
Plastic's bad.
I personally will be kicking things off by removing 100,000 pounds from the ocean by donating $100,000. And YouTube Originals has stepped up, and they'll be matching the first $400,000 donated. But that's still way, way less than 30 million. If you're a working adult, consider how much trash you're willing to remove to send a message. And if you're a kid, talk to your parents about this. Get creative and do some chores to earn some money. Or maybe talk to your teacher and set up a class or even school fundraiser using the team feature on the website.
And then after that, retweet anything to do with Team C's. Like, share, watch 100 times every Team C's video. Support this campaign, we need you.
You can start by sharing this video and then just harass all your favorite creators. Make sure they're on board Team C's. With all the division in the world, this just feels like something we can all see eye to eye on. Like everyone agrees that trash and plastic don't belong in our beautiful oceans. And of course we know Team C's alone won't solve this issue, but it sends a strong message that young people are hungry and willing to go beyond just retweets to raise awareness. We can be a catalyst for positive change in this world. I am just so stoked we totally got this. How many pounds of trash is right here?
500,000.
You are a liar. How many pounds of trash is really here?
62,738 pounds of trash is right here.
Wow.
Oh, 37,000? Yeah, we need them.
I will say, my robot in the next 2 weeks, he'll do that. So if you want to fund more robots and more humans to solve this important problem, click the blue button, go to teamseas.org, donate right now.
Go donate!
This is what it looks like to close out a year of your life trying to answer one of life's most basic questions. Exactly how high can elephant toothpaste actually be launched into space? Now, if this looks sort of familiar, it's because this isn't my first attempt. Last year, my buddy Fletcher and I were here with this monster of a flask, but with one critical oversight. We didn't make the floor stiff enough because I just didn't consider the forces to be so high they'd lift a 1-ton structure 5 feet into the air. And so while that attempt did yield a new Guinness World Record of 60 feet, I couldn't stop thinking about just how high it could have gone if only all that stuff that came out of the bottom was actually forced to come out through the top. Like what would happen if I spent the year designing and building something that weighed 5 tons and was basically bomb-proof? And then what if we could just go on to make the world's most epic surprise party by building a massive slip-and-slide skateboard ramp along with the 26 million Orbeez pool, plus a Devil's Toothpaste explosion 2.5 times bigger than previously? Then the only thing that would be missing would be someone to throw the surprise party for. And that's where my new friend Brody comes in. Now, to understand who Brody is, all you really need to know is that as him and his family were going through an incredibly difficult time in their lives, as he narrowly fought through his battle against blood cancer for 3 years, Brody used his one and only Make-A-Wish chance to buy a brand new ATV for another kid with cancer he didn't even know when he heard that kid had his ATV stolen. By the way, I told my friend Mr. Beast this story, and he had some thoughts on what we should do about this situation. So now that we had a plan for the surprise party, and a kid who definitely deserved the world's most epic surprise party, it was time to return to my buddy Dale's Walnut farm in the small town of Gridley, California, and get to work. And while I'd love to take credit for single-handedly digging out the entire Orbeez pit, the truth was, as word got out about Brody's story, the good people of Gridley came out to help in droves. So Arnie here, who's been operating a backhoe for 60 years, volunteered to dig the Orbeez pool, while Dave, the town master carpenter, started working on the skateboard ramp. I even harnessed some child labor to prep the Devil's Toothpaste troughs, although it sort of backfired when they began to protest against their harsh working conditions. Which just left my nemesis, the giant elephant's toothpaste flask. And this time I was taking no chances, and so for the base we laid a concrete pad which would be attached to the flask with 30 3/4-inch bolts with a total clamping force of 80 tons. And then instead of a structure made of 2x4s, the plan was to use 5 tons of steel all fused together by the town welder Jeff. On top of that, we designed the flask to be 20% bigger. So now all we needed was a 20-second build montage to get it all done. And so as the party construction continued on for several days in the 105-degree heat, let me take a moment to try and debunk a myth about elephant toothpaste floating around on the internet. There are some wildly popular videos on YouTube, some with over 30 million views and hundreds of thousands of likes, which demonstrate that when you simply add a bunch of soda to some Orbeez and then create a Mentos Sprite solution and pour it over the top, you get this. which is pretty impressive.
Look at that.
This also works with Mentos? Why didn't Mark Rober tell us that?
Maybe he didn't want us to break his record.
True.
Now, I had a slightly different hypothesis, which was that these guys were faking the science and lying to people for YouTube views. So as firm believers in the scientific method, Science Bob and I tested that hypothesis. And as it turns out, if you follow their exact methodology, then combine the mixtures and run real fast, exactly nothing happens. And even if you don't trust our demonstration, well then you're gonna have to explain how the balloon shadow somehow stops right here at the edge of the hole, and where these orange globs are splashing up from, and how the hole itself completely changes shape from this frame to this one once they've removed their layer mask. The way they actually did that is the same way elephant toothpaste is always made, and that's to mix the correct amounts of hydrogen peroxide, soap, and food coloring. Then you just add a catalyst like potassium iodide. And in preparation for this year's party, we also played around with the devil's toothpaste formula we discovered last year with, at times, very interesting results. Now, as a reminder, this is normal elephant's toothpaste, and this is devil's toothpaste. It reacts insanely fast, and I don't give out the formula because it's super dangerous, even if you are, for example, wearing some very nice protective gloves. And so back in Gridley, with Brody's arrival slated for the next morning, the afternoon turned into the evening as the feverish pace of work continued late for the third night in a row. If this dang mega flash somehow bested me again, at least I could console myself in the fact that it wouldn't be from lack of effort. And so when morning came, with only a few last-minute bits of preparation left to go, I headed to a doctor's office about an hour and a half away, where Brody thought he flew out to see some more specialists for a day filled with medical tests.
Okay, thank you.
Fletcher and his incredible hair also came back out to help with the surprise. And I just want to preemptively say, I know I'm quite possibly the world's suckiest actor.
Well, Dr. Fletcher, we got a lot of stuff to look at, tests, because today actually isn't a doctor appointment at all.
And while I think I'm being all tricky here, he later said he figured out it was me as soon as he heard my terrible doctor accent.
What up, buddy? I actually brought someone to help us out today, too. This is Fletcher. Fletcher here, he was with us last year. We did a big party. So today we're gonna do another party, and it's gonna be fun. You brought someone with you?
Yeah.
Gavin. Let's go meet Gavin. How's it going, buddy? Here.
I saw you when I was like 6. I've known you for so long.
Oh, thank you. This is Fletcher.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And that's Isla, Fletcher's sister.
Hi.
All right, let's bounce. Here we go. So step 1 is to get the Tesla. So we actually have, and I'll leave this guys up to you guys. We have 2 ways to get to Gridley. Option 1 is to take the Tesla. Does everyone want to prematurely just say they want option 1, or do you want to hear option 2? I want to hear option 2. Are you sure it's a Tesla? Okay, option 2, and again, you guys get a vote on this. Private jet. Option 2. Have you guys ever ridden on a private jet?
No!
Let's ride on a private jet!
Your guys' private jet's ready.
Private jet's ready! Remember guys, act like we've done this before.
And the private jet was definitely out of my budget, but a generous benefactor caught wind of what we were doing and let us use his. Which actually helped, because it cut the 1.5-hour drive down to just 12 short minutes.
So guys, we just landed. I knew it! There he is! I knew it! I knew it was a limo! Only the finest. We live in luxury.
And so after a short trip and a sweet ride, Brody had arrived. feeling refreshed, it was time to head over to see some explosive chemistry in the form of 6 massive Devil's Toothpaste troughs. Now I need to pause here to make 2 points. The first is that because each trough holds 2.5 times more volume than the barrels last year, we couldn't just dump it on the top because it reacts so fast the catalyst wouldn't even make it to the bottom before it was launched out. So each trough that contained the mixture of the hydrogen peroxide, soap, and food coloring basically has a massive syringe attached to the side that contains the catalyst. Then we put a big fat pressurized air tank here, so when you open this butterfly valve, the air would rush into this chamber, thereby sliding the piston over and causing everything to mix really well. And as you can see in real life, this happens pretty fast. And the second is you might notice it looks like one of the troughs already kind of went off. And the truth is, when I walked up, things looked like this. We tested for so many different things to prepare for this, but one thing we didn't think to test was if the food coloring manufacturer added some new ingredient only to the purple color, so now it randomly reacts with hydrogen peroxide all on its own. So after a bit of leaf blowing, we were ready to power through, even if we did lose 2 of our 6 troughs to that little mishap.
Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! 3, 2, 1.
We had to get all hands on deck to prepare for the grand finale mega flask. Like last year, the idea was to start the reaction by having these troughs dump the catalyst into the hydrogen peroxide pool below. So chemicals had to be loaded in super carefully, because even if a small amount splashed out prematurely, we'd have an even more disastrous situation on our hands than with the purple food coloring. But Brody still had no idea that was coming, so we distracted him with a different surprise first, in the form of some quality time in 26 million orbs.
Oh my god! Oh no, this is not even new.
Submersing yourself in millions of Orbeez is such a wild feeling, because it's like having a squishy, slippery, weighted blanket compressing all around you no matter where you move. And while we could have stayed there for a few more hours, soon enough we got the message that the flask was in its final preparations, so we all headed back over. And word apparently had spread at this point, so quite a crowd had gathered, including the mayor of Gridley. So the pressure was really on for me to finally avenge that L from last year and to get Brody a dang world record.
Look at this. Huh?
Are you too?
And so with that, all that was left now was to place all our hopes and dreams on our engineering abilities and dump the troughs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
pressure sensor in the flask, and it turns out the force pushing all the elephant toothpaste out the top is about 50 times the force you feel when pushing against a fully inflated football.
Volcano!
Whoa!
You see it's still like barking on the top.
Oh my gosh.
Was that better than going to the doctor's office? Look how far over it went. Wow! The flask! Stay together! You got me once, elephant's toothpaste. You don't get me twice.
And in fact, when you do a side-by-side comparison of the max height from last year to this year, I'm happy to report we absolutely destroyed the previous record by nearly a factor of 5, rising to the height of a 25-story building at 250 feet. And so with a new Guinness World Record under his belt, I still had one grand final surprise for Brody. So back at the house, while Science Bob distracted the crowd with liquid nitrogen-powered exploding watermelons and trash can rockets, nearly taking out our drone pilot, Nurk, in the process, I called up a friend of mine.
What up, buddy?
Hi. What up, Mr. Beast? This is my friend Brody. We've been hanging out all day today.
How's it going? Did he do the Orbeez thing? He told me he got 45 million Orbeez.
Yeah. Is that more Orbeez than you did?
No.
We had a pool though. I think Mr. Beast has one more surprise.
Do me a favor and turn around real quick.
Oh my god!
That's your hog right there. Delivered by none other than Dale himself. Well, get off, buddy. It's not mine, it's yours.
And what's cool here is this is the exact model he wanted to get for himself before he gave it away to someone else. And he didn't do that expecting to get something back in return, just like those who worked so hard to put this party together for him didn't expect anything either. Which is why I believe when you try to be a good person, it may not always come back to you immediately, but somehow it always comes back. This is Dom. He's a friendly little robot that's super good at only one thing, setting up a butt ton of dominoes really, really fast. It's taken 5 years to get to this point, but according to our initial tests, we have hopes that he might be more than 10 times faster than the fastest human. So today we're going to put him to the test, going head-to-head against the world's foremost domino expert, who unfortunately is a mere human. Then we're going to attempt a Guinness World Record, and he's going to try and fill this entire warehouse with a mural of 100,000 dominoes. And for context, setting up a domino mural that size would take a team of 7 skilled builders 1 full week. Dom here is going to attempt to do it by himself in 24 hours. Now I know what you're thinking. Big whoop, Mark. Because as a kid, you might have had a toy that looked like this. Or even this custom robot Kimiko maybe that can drop 20 dominoes in a row. So isn't it a bit overkill to utilize an autonomous robot, a half-mile of Hot Wheels tracks, and a high-speed robotic arm? And I get it, because our designs look like this, where we just try and hack a little Roomba when we first tried to tackle this problem exactly 5 years ago. But then pesky details of scale arise, like for starters, just how much 100,000 dominoes is. So the robot will need to come and reload at least 1,000 times. But how exactly do you reload it? And how would it know exactly where to drop each domino and what color it should be? And how do you make it so reliable that it doesn't screw up once in 100,000 drops of a domino? A system to reliably tackle issues at scales like this is just going to be inherently super complex. Like 10 times more complex than my automatic bullseye dartboard, which to this point was probably the most complicated build on my channel. So after failing off and on for 3 years, I was doing a Q&A at Maker Faire, and I told the crowd if anyone wanted to help me with the brutal challenge, to hit me up afterwards. And to my absolute delight, 2 freshmen from Stanford and a software engineer from the Bay Area all took me up on the challenge. So I hired them, and 2 years later, here we were. Now before I show you how it all works, I first wanted to put him in a head-to-head competition to see how good he really was. And for that, we need the undisputed heavyweight champion on YouTube for all things dominoes, Lily Hevish. Lily, you are known on YouTube as the Queen of Dominoes, right?
People do call me the Domino Queen.
And for very good reason. With over 1.2 billion views on her channel, you've almost certainly seen one of her incredible creations over her 12 years on the platform. She's so good, she's even got her own line of dominoes you can buy in stores. Okay, so here's the challenge, Lily. I want you to set up like 300 dominoes right now, and let's see how long it takes a human to do that. Okay? Clock starts now. If you need me, Lily, just sitting here reading my newspaper. For you kids at home, a newspaper is like a boring iPad made from trees. That's actually pretty fast. Oh, disaster! The foibles of being a human. Okay, Lily, are you ready for this? I've seen enough. I actually don't know how to whistle. This is the Dominator.
Oh my god. Wow. I love the eyes.
A good set of googly eyes will go a long ways. Okay, boy. Let them down. I suck at dominoes, Lily, but I'm good at engineering, which means I'm actually really good at dominoes. We even showed off. The Dominator double stacked the middle row for you.
That is impressive. That is seriously impressive.
This technique of laying down a tile of 300 dominoes at once was really the key that helped us crack the scale and reliability issues. And it's probably my favorite part about the Dominator. Besides his wiggly tail, of course. Here's Josh to explain more.
So these 3D printed funnels here, which allows us to drop all 300 dominoes all at once.
And the mechanism that drops those into the top of this tray, we'll show that in just a second.
And if we remove these funnels here, we can see that the dominoes are precisely placed in the locations. This allows us to place 300 dominoes exactly where we want them all at once.
And they don't fall out because of what we call the Connect 4 mechanism under here. But if we trigger the servo, then it slides that Connect 4 tray over and drops them all at once, making for some gratuitous, beautiful slow-mo shots. And so while this looks really cool, obviously dropping from that height wouldn't be effective. So we lower the whole platform down on this ball screw, then set them right on the floor, which turned out to be incredibly reliable. So Dom took the W in round 1, but now it's time for the endurance round. Okay, first one to 10,000 dominoes wins. Lily, you ready?
I'm ready.
Dominator, you ready? Start.
Oh my god. Wow. I already failed.
That's great. And to Lily's credit, she was actually insanely fast. Just not, you know, robot fast.
So unfair. So unfair.
On top of that, she had to handle a very large distraction with the emotional maturity of a 9-year-old. Yep, I think I'm doing pretty good. You're doing very good for a human, I'll give you that. Oh no! No way!
Get out, get out.
That feels so much faster than it probably looks. How's Lily doing?
Tired.
And so while Lily's output slowed down considerably, Dom's did not. And I should mention, we sometimes call him Dom, but that's just short for his legal birth name, which, as noted before, is Dominator. Because, you know, like Domino, Dominator, whatever. It all works.
I'm gonna head to the bathroom.
Oh, Lily has to go to the bathroom.
I'm human, right?
Dominator, do you have to go to the bathroom? Didn't think so. 9,000 perfectly laid dominoes in a little over 2 hours. Actually, 9,001. We got a bonus domino out there in the middle of this field. May or may not have been on purpose, but now we can say it's actually over 9,000. It was a pretty clear result, and Lily, of course, was gracious in her defeat to the machine overlords, so all that was left to do now was to knock them down. Yes, that was satisfying. So So we went head-to-head with the world's foremost domino experts and came out on top. And now it's time for the real challenge, to attempt a Guinness World Record and see how quickly we can fill this entire room with a mural of over 100,000 dominoes. All right, buddy, you got the game plan. Now you just gotta get out there and execute. Godspeed, little fella. Godspeed. Dominoes down, 102,000 left to go. So we're about 6 hours in, but more importantly, we just got our first Goomba. This is beautiful. Back to work, Dom. And the best part about working really hard for a few years is that the last 24 hours are super relaxing. And with that tile placed, we are officially halfway done with over 50,000 dominoes put down in just a little bit over 12 hours. And Dom, whoa, easy boy, just showing no signs of slowing down. So this is a good point to explain the rest of the robotic system. It all starts over here with the loading station that Josh and John Luke spent a lot of time optimizing. The dominoes are loaded by color on these conveyor belts, and then a KUKA robot arm grabs them and places them in one of 300 loading chutes made from 2.7 miles worth of Hot Wheel tracks. And you could load Dom directly with the robot arm, but this is much faster because he doesn't have to wait. He just comes in here to the docking station, and the lower platform slides over, so the bottom layer of 300 dominoes gets loaded up all at once. And we also had a backup loading system using a tray, just in case at any point the robot arm wasn't working. Besides the Hot Wheels tracks, there's a ton of 3D printed parts throughout the build that we either printed ourselves, or if we were in a pinch, my friends at Matter Hackers helped us out. So that's the loader. Now how about the Dominator himself? How does Dom know exactly where to go in the room to drop a domino?
So we've pre-programmed the route for all 102,000 dominoes, so the robot knows exactly where to go right from the start. Then, as we're driving around, we use these indoor GPS sensors to track the position of the robot so it knows roughly where it is. And then as we get closer to the place the dominoes need to drop, we use these IR cameras that are tracking markers on the ground to make sure the robot lines up perfectly every single time.
So the vision from the beginning is that we could set Dom up, we could turn off the lights and leave, and come back the next morning and you've got like a full field of dominoes set up.
We work all night in the dark just fine.
All right, now how about these super cool wheels?
So these are called Omni wheels, and they're awesome because they let you translate it any direction you want. So this is way better than like your car, where if you need to move a little bit to the left or right, you have to make like a 5-point turn. So with these guys, you can move any direction you want to adjust for small corrections in the placement of the dominoes. These wheels are powered by these ClearPath brushless DC servo motors. These are like the gold standard in terms of speed and accuracy, and they allow us to slide the robot around by even just a couple millimeters at a time, which is super useful when we're trying to make real fine adjustments to place the dominoes.
Now obviously that's just the uppermost tip of the iceberg tip, but Dom's brain is over 14,000 lines of code, all from scratch. So if you want to go way deeper into the technical details, I'll put a link in the video description where Alex put it all in one spot. Now back to finishing the second half. So the Dominator has been running just under 24 hours, and this is a bit of a momentous tile here. It's a me, Mario! $102,300 dominoes are on the floor successfully. This is the last 300. I think this is a moment. You guys get back over here. Josh and Alex, let's observe it. Don't blow this, Dom. You got it, buddy. Finish strong. We got it. Just over 24 hours to lay all the dominoes, gentlemen. So now with everything set up, the final critical step was to knock him down. You can see John loading in the Mario pipes because they were going to be our trigger mechanism. The way that works is we've got 4 Hot Wheel cars glued to the bottom of this platform that rides in these parallel Hot Wheels tracks. Then you slap a green sliding shell on top, and a motor at the end pulls the cart along the tracks with a string. Then the shell contacts a lever arm at each pipe like this, which causes them to roll forward, down the ramp, hopefully into the dominoes. Okay, now I'm nervous. I wasn't nervous, now I'm nervous. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Times faster than a skilled domino builder, and he got himself a world record to show for it. Although to be fair to us organisms, it was in the non-human category. And at that point, after 5 years, we were just so relieved to be done, we got a little carried away celebrating the champ with an appropriate send-off. What do we do now?
We're about to clean it up.
Oh, there we go. A cleanup robot. This is me in a flimsy cage in the middle of the ocean at night, surrounded by hungry sharks. We were there experimenting with some mesmerizing bioluminescence we captured in this jar, which was really cool, but unfortunately for us, the sharks agreed. So once again, I found myself in a precarious situation, risking my life for science. And for that, I blame my friends at Discovery, because for Shark Week this year, they sent me to the frickin' Bermuda Triangle. Now in the past to celebrate Shark Week, I've ran experiments to answer important questions such as, can sharks really smell a drop of blood in the water from a mile away? Or given the choice, do they have a preference for human blood over fish blood? And so this year, I'm headed back with some contraptions I built to potentially debunk a few more shark myths. And our experiments are gonna get us dangerously close to sharks in the shallows, and then so deep, it's like we're visiting an alien planet. And we're even gonna take a critical look into whether the Bermuda Triangle itself is actually cursed.
There's a legend on this here island.
But of course, to do that, I'll need an expert in the paranormal, aka Noah frickin' Schnapp from Stranger Things.
This is spookier than the Upside Down.
And so before I head to the Bermuda Triangle in an 8-second travel montage to meet Noah for the first time, in an effort to make him feel more comfortable, I'm gonna harness my inner hopper. To kick things off, I reunited with my marine biologist shark expert buddy, Luke Tipple. Luke!
G'day mate, how you doing?
What up, buddy? We learned a lot last year, I feel like. What attracts sharks, what kind of noises I make when my life's in grave danger. And then as soon as Noah showed up, we decided we want to get him right out to see his first ever shark in real life and to test our first potential myth, which has to do with sharks attacking people with GoPros. Come here. Come here.
No.
Oh my god!
There's no way we're swimming like that.
No way! Bonkers,
my
right?
God.
Look down here. Look at that.
No, there's no way. Are we going in with
We're going in with those.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going home.
And so while Noah reconsidered his life choices, we came up with a game plan. Right, Luke. Last time we were out here, we had these like 360 cams on a stick, and the sharks went for it. Like a number of times they would bite at it, right? And I've actually heard that sometimes you go on a dive, like in Hawaii, they'll actually tell you cannot bring a GoPro because they say the sharks are attracted to like the electromagnetic waves. And it feels like,
Is that true?
I think there's something to it.
According to Luke, he's definitely seen sharks snap at GoPros on a selfie stick, but it was unclear if that's just because you're shoving the stick way out in front of their face, or if it was actually some kind of electromagnetic waves from the GoPro that got them excited. And that's sort of an important distinction if you own a GoPro.
We proved that they love the electric field. Maybe don't attach one to your head.
So we came up with an experiment to test this. We would dive down, and Luke would be holding a selfie stick with the GoPro actively filming inside, and then as a control, I would be right next to him with an identical selfie stick with an identical GoPro housing, but it would be empty. So the only difference between these two would be the tiny electrical field coming from the filming GoPro. And then at that point, we just count how many times each of our selfie sticks got bumped or attacked. And while I was obviously a little skeptical, there is some validity to the theory here. Part of the reason sharks have existed as apex predators for 450 million years is because they detect and hunt their dinner not only with the same 5 senses we do, but with 2 bonus senses as well. Their 6th sense is to detect even slight pressure changes in the water in all directions around them at all times. And then their 7th is their ability to detect electric fields. That's what all these little dots under here are for. And this matters because when any muscle contracts, it gives off an electrical signal. That's how the brain controls them. So sharks can sense a fish using its muscles to try and swim away, or even a completely stationary fish simply because of its beating heart. And so with the testing plan in place, it was time to gear up and enjoy Noah's first ocean scuba dive experience with a warm welcome from 25 swarming sharks. So we set up camp on the bottom and started the experiment. And it seemed at first they were kind of scoping us out for a bit, after which they got a little bit more comfortable.
Okay, we got 1 hit on the camera. And the 2nd hit on the camera. I got it here. I definitely have 2, but no fun.
So after about 10 minutes, while there were a few close calls, and certainly some interest in our selfie sticks, there were definitely no attacks yet, so we headed back up to tally and compare our results.
Yeah, that's the scariest part, right? They seem like right at your face.
Yeah, like they're coming like this at
Yeah, and then the last moment, they're like trying to see how scared you are.
They just right past me, they're like mine.
When we looked at the footage, Luke's running GoPro got bumped 5 times, while my empty camera case was only bumped once. Which was interesting, but I wouldn't exactly call that a clear-cut result to the rumor that sharks will attack GoPros because they mistake the electric fields for prey. But lucky for us, I had a backup plan to get more conclusive evidence.
I think to really level it up, I've got something over here I want to show you guys. How many GoPros? I'm glad you asked. 21. Okay, so this is a twofer. First of all, we've got a bunch of GoPros. So if they're interested in one, we'll take it to an extreme, and they should really go crazy for this, right?
They don't like this one, they don't like this.
Exactly.
But the second purpose for this rig is because the 21 cameras are equally spaced apart, this is a waterproof version of that fancy bullet time rig made famous by The Matrix. Now 2 years ago, I came up with a poor man's version of this by sticking a 360 camera to the end of a harpoon, and that worked pretty well, as you can see here. But we tested this new and improved rig at the pool that morning, and I was even more hopeful for this version because we were able to get some super dope shots like this one. Now, Caribbean reef sharks are pack hunters, and this is why some argue they're the most dangerous sharks in the Bermuda Triangle, because they get each other worked up in a frenzy. And so my hope was the sharks would in fact get really worked up by all the GoPros to the point that it was a frenzy. Because I'm pretty sure that's just something Noah would want to experience, underwater, you know, up close and personal. So now that his mind was mentally prepared for what might lie ahead, it was time to get back in the water for the follow-up test.
I got a pee, and luckily 2 years ago we proved that sharks aren't attracted to urine, so I'll be fixing that situation. I'll find it.
And so while we conducted our super-sized follow-up experiment, we took the opportunity to capture some bullet time shots as well. In the end, they just weren't that interested in a rig with 21 running GoPros, so it was pretty clear the myth that sharks will attack a GoPro thinking it's food was busted. Now to be fair, they could almost certainly sense that electrical field, which is why they would sometimes bump it out of curiosity. It's just that it would be such a different electromagnetic signature from what they'd evolved for hundreds of millions of years to consider food. So So you're totally cool to whip out your GoPro next time you find yourself surrounded by sharks. And so while we did have some cool bullet time shots and a busted nip, what we didn't have was Noah's front row seat to a feeding frenzy. But luckily I had another backup plan, because before we got in, I introduced him to my secret recipe from last year, the super chunks. And while it might make us humans gag, sharks love this stuff. So the plan was to have the boat crew fill this canister with the super chunk and then drop it overboard, hopefully creating a real-life sharknado on the way down. And now since our experiment had concluded down below, I let the boat crew know it was time for plan B.
We got the sharknado. Here we go. Coming in hot. That definitely agitated. They're moving around and trying to figure out what's in the box. Oh, they're really going for it now. Sharknado! Sharknado! Oh, Josh, this could be alright. No way. I think our smoothies work. Dude, they like what we've done. Why does it feel like there's like double the amount of sharks though? Hey guys, they're getting pretty gnarly. Oh, you're back. Oh, I love it. Yeah, this is too crazy. I think we better hit the boat. Time to head up? Okay.
So with Feeding Frenzy crossed off the bucket list, and even another dive later where Andy captured this footage of a super rare great hammerhead, Noah innocently inquired about a creepy looking lighthouse near our dive spot.
We should ask if we can explore it. You know what's the deal with the lighthouse?
It was brought here in 1952. That's when they actually had the first accident. There was a ship that wrecked here, and everyone died except for one kid. He was 5-year-old. He survived. They found him and everything, but they said that you see a spirit here they call the Green Lady, and on a full moon you can hear her mooning at night for her son. So it's pretty spooky, man.
What's the name of it? Is that what you mean?
So I mean, it's called the Great Isaacs, but the locals call it the Ghost Island. A lot of spooky stuff, man.
We should check it out? Yeah, we should. Are we cool? Can we go explore the lighthouse? Alright. Andy said it was cool!
Let's get to it.
And while this was possibly a really bad idea, it would be a good chance to gather some first-hand evidence behind all the Bermuda Triangle lore.
I thought that was the Grey Lady.
And so we started exploring, and just the whole vibe for this place was legitimately creepy. Now I'm not going to show you everything that happened on Ghost Island. To see that, you gotta get Discovery Plus, because it has all the Shark Week show this year and from past years, like my show with Shaq and Dude Perfect, not to mention my upcoming Engineering Revenge show based off the glitter bombs. So to get it, just download Discovery Plus for free for 7 days, and after that, it's just like $5 a month. So this excursion was a useful data point for me as to whether or not the Bermuda Triangle itself was cursed.
Oh dude, this is just something the Grey Lady would wear too.
But I still wasn't ready to form a conclusive viewpoint until I could do a bit more research myself. And so after encountering the largest turtle I've ever seen by a factor of 4, we hopped back on the boat to return home. It was a long day and we needed to get some rest because the next day we were going to hop on some real fancy snow globe submarines and descend way down to try and lure some sharks out deep on their own turf. And to do that, I had a few more tricks up my sleeve. And the first trick was this stuff. Now it doesn't look all that impressive like this, but when you simply add it to water, something remarkable happens. It's called biolume, and it's the exact same chemical reaction that occurs in nature when an organism uses bioluminescence. It's totally non-toxic and natural to the point that you could drink this water. I mean, how cool is this? When we're deep underwater, I want to see how well the sharks can see this stuff, because it's commonly said that sharks have really bad eyesight, but I've heard that too is a myth. Now each one of their senses has a different range. Their electroreceptors we demonstrated earlier are effective to hunt prey in about this range. And in previous years, I've investigated the range on their sense of smell for something like blood in the right conditions, and it can be as much as a mile. But allegedly, they rely quite a bit on their sense of sight for hunting too, and they can see as far as a football field in length. And while they can't see in colors and can only see in black and white, their night vision is 10 times better than us humans, which is why we wanted to test their eyes with this glowing stuff in darker conditions. And my second trick was good old reliable Super Chum, but with a catch, because you can't exactly just open the hatch and pour some out when you're 600 feet underwater. Plus, there are some pretty strict safety protocols about what you can attach to the outside of the sub due to the crushing pressures at that depth. So we handcrafted this beauty. An environmentally friendly Super Chum torpedo we could fire from the sub. Everything is made from wood, and this middle section is balsa wood, so it would easily break away if a shark chomped right here, because that's where the Super Chum is contained in a bag that biodegrades in the water. And as you can see from our last minute pool testing, the idea was for the sub's mechanical arm to pull this lever, which would allow the surgical tubing to contract, forcing the torpedo out, opening the bag of Super Chum in the process, but intentionally only traveling a short distance where we could still see it close to the sub. So with our final test looking pretty good, it was time to head back out to sea for both of our first ever dives in a bona fide submarine.
Oh my god. Which one's mine?
I didn't hear this one. Oh
Oh my god.
Shall we get in? Let's do it.
Hatch is secured. I am ready to dive.
You are clear to dive.
Oh my god. Nemo, good to see you. You ready to go on a 270?
Okay, Nomad. I'm ready when you are.
So we're at 130. We're going 600.
This is Nomad reporting. We are approaching the edge of the wall.
And the wall was basically a sheer underwater cliff, like the Grand Canyon, and we were going over it. And on the way down, at around 300 feet, you could see signs of where a coastline used to be before the end of the Ice Age when all the glaciers melted. And he said everywhere he dives around the world, you see the same thing at about that same depth. And the deeper we went, the darker it got. Now it was time to lure some sharks out.
Yeah, let's settle down here. I'm gonna get the manipulator going. Let you drive this. Oh wow.
Like the arcade playing the claw game. Nice! Oh, yes! Yes! Look at that glow!
Nomad, Nemo. We are ready to fire the torpedo.
We are attempting now.
Oh god.
Secondary torpedo launch now.
And with a bit of an assist, the second chum torpedo was in play.
And now the sharks just come swimming. Here's Sharky, Sharky, Sharky.
And as we waited, it dawned on me that as humans, we were almost certainly the first, and quite possibly the last, to ever explore this exact spot on planet Earth.
Love it.
And a number of times we thought we saw some sharks lurking in the shadows, but it was always just fleeting glimpses. So we decided to try our luck at a different spot, a bit higher up the wall, with our remaining 2 torpedoes. And here we hit jackpot.
When they bump into the whole
Sub rock, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Right order. Oh my god.
Right underneath the whole down. That's rad. Look at that. Top side, this is our torpedo.
chum torpedo at the same time. So we still wanted to see up close if the sharks would be able to see it with their night vision and then come check it out. And with the subs already put away, that meant we had to get in the ocean in the Bermuda Triangle in the middle of the night.
I make a point of not swimming in the ocean at night. I especially make a point of not swimming in the ocean at night surrounded by sharks. That's the good rule of thumb.
If it wasn't the sharks that would kill me, it would be my family when they saw my ability to make poor choices.
Okay, Noah, here we go, baby. Alright, buddy, you ready? Okay, we need to do stuff. This is bonkers. Oh, that's cool, man. That's like X-Men. I think you guys can throw a bunch from on top. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that. That's cool. I feel like I'm in a dream. It's pretty cool, but I want to try it with like, with no lights. Okay, total darkness. We're pretty okay with this. Now let's try it like this. Oh, this is a lot creepier now. With no lights on. This is the trippiest thing I've ever seen, man. Alright, we got blue. Oh, shark! No, a shark! A shark just swam by. Where? Oh my god! I'm starting to notice bigger gaps in these chain link fence posts. This is the scariest thing I've ever done. Oh my god, this is unreal! Oh my god! There's a million of them! There's a size of a hole in this cage! You made this thing! Holy crap! Oh.
And you guys are good to come out.
Yeah, thanks. Oh my god. That was the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. That was unreal. There's like 10 sharks circling around us. And I thought they were trying to eat us. That's like actually my nightmare. Like that, like, I can't get scary.
We threw the violin off, and then pretty soon we flipped the lights on. There's a bunch of sharks. So the violin went in, the sharks came.
Once again, it was an incredible experience to learn more about our friends the sharks, and as a bonus, I survived. Which leads us to our final unanswered question. Is the Bermuda Triangle really cursed? Has it caused the mysterious disappearance of thousands of boats and planes? As a kid, I loved reading books about this, trying to unravel the mystery. And as an adult with a background in science, I was shocked to discover that significantly more boats and planes do disappear there. But there's a catch. At a random moment, you can open a flight tracking website and take a snapshot of all the planes in the air, and it will look something like this. Now keep in mind, this region here is the Bermuda Triangle. Can you spot the problem? Way more boats and planes crash there because way more boats and planes travel there. It's in the middle of some of the most heavily used shipping routes and flight paths in the world. It's like how California is the state with the most car accidents because it has the most people, not because there's some supernatural force causing them all. Statistically speaking, the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous for a single boat or plane than anywhere else. And you can double check that answer in the back of the book by checking if insurance companies charge any more for vessels traveling through that region, and it turns out they don't. And yet, as sure as I am about my conclusion, our first mate Andre had a way of telling first-hand stories that even I'll admit chipped away at my resolve just a little bit.
We had some guys find like this magnetic field running through, and up to this day they still can't tell what it is. Bermuda Triangle, guys. Never know. Never know.
This is a bird feeder, and everything you see surrounding me in my yard is an attempt to protect it from four-thieving squirrels. If they want the bird seed and the lifetime supply of walnuts in this bank vault, they'll first need to pass through my 9-part obstacle course. By design, it's extremely challenging. It's meant to test their mental limits and their physical limits. I held back no punches, but I have to admit in hindsight, I once again completely underestimated my adversary. And truthfully, I never thought I'd be that crazy guy in the neighborhood obsessing over the squirrels, but they started it first when they would constantly pillage the birdseed from any bird feeder I would put up about a year ago. That led to me defending it with an obstacle course which they handily defeated, and so after a year of ruminating on how to avenge that L with a majorly improved version, and then 2 months of planning, my buddy John and I got together for a 20-second build montage. Elements. For starters, here's their favorite bird feeder at the end of the course, and it's sitting atop Fort Nuts, the most secure walnut vault in the western United States. Now, since birds can fly, they can come and go as they please and eat all the food they want. But the only way for the squirrels to make it right here is by surviving my 9-part grueling obstacle course, which all starts right here. Climbing up this pole to this platform is the single gateway to enter the course. Every other pole you see has some kind of countermeasure to keep the squirrel from just climbing up and then entering the course halfway through. And so the first challenge is this casino, which may seem like an odd choice until you realize that as we were building the course, we also built them some cozy little squirrel houses. So we put them up in a couple different trees, and after a few days, it looked like they'd actually made some renovations. So I went to take a closer look. And sure enough, here's the before and here's the after. Even on the inside, they made some questionable decor updates. So while it might look like they were just using the houses to relax, or stretch, or look out the window, or wrestle, the satellite communications gear, and the tactical mission planning, and the mini vault to practice cracking a safe hold a completely different story. This gang of 4 high-end professional birdseed thieves were secretly planning to pull off an honest-to-goodness Mission Impossible Ocean's 11 style mega walnut heist, which is why I was going to protect the birdseed and walnut vault with the most state-of-the-art security measures, just like the casino did in Ocean's 11. So once in the casino, you'll see the slot machine and the classic Vegas buffet, but with a warning. Take more than an ounce, and you're going to have to deal with security. Now that I got the squirrels on the run, they'll naturally want to jump to this bar, but there's a twist. Like it actually twists, which I think is going to give me some problems. But if they can figure this out, they'll jump into this crate. And the good news is that it's filled to the brim with their favorite food, which is walnuts. And I know this because I tested a bunch of different options, and they always went with the walnuts first. But the bad news is that once you add a little weight to the system, the helicopter starts moving, just like the helicopter from Mission Impossible. Oh, and we've got a baffle here at the top to stop a squirrel from just crawling along the wire from the fence. The helicopter stops next to this wall, which seems simple enough, except that the bricks randomly move and adjust themselves in and out. And of course, at any time, if they fall off, they gotta go back and start over the whole course from the beginning. After that, we come to their hideout. And this is when they'll switch from defense to offense, because it's where they hang out and play. You can see it's sort of messing with their tools and their blueprints on the wall that show if they open the floor on the elevator shaft leads them underground and into the sewers. Then if they crawl through the sewers, it will take them right to the control center for a second room that might look familiar. And just like in Mission Impossible, their goal is to go up through the ceiling to access the air vents. But there's no way to make it up there unless they type the password into the keyboard in the control room next door, like this. And at that point, they can climb the ladder, and they're in the vents. And the vents are a total maze. There's lots of different twists and turns they'll need to navigate up here. So at any moment, if they're too lost, they can always exit the whole course by using the one-way Squirrel emergency exits, which also exists for any enclosed room on the whole course. And for the penultimate challenge, it's back down from the air ducts through this laser maze where they'll have to harness their inner Catherine Zeta-Jones. If they sufficiently touch any of the lasers, the metal base contacts and completes the circuit, which sends a signal from this microcontroller to a relay to a solenoid, which causes this pneumatic piston to fire, which slams this door shut for 1 minute. And because I'm basically certain they'll try and get to this point by climbing from the roof on top of this tube, I've placed a shield here with another enforcement squirrel to try and deter them. And so finally, if they've made it through the laser maze and everything that came before it, they've made it to Fort Nuts. And as far as I'm concerned, if they crack the safe by giving this handle a little turn, they've earned every last walnut in this bank. After the course was set up, they could definitely smell the walnuts in the vault, and then you could see them sort of working things out from the fence line. And so after 2 months of prep work, it was time to test our extensive security measures against this formidable set of 500-gram rodents. And right out of the gate, we got him with the buffet. And as he sticks his entire face into the sneeze guard, absent-mindedly reading the sign, you can see the exact moment he realizes he might have screwed up. And the slow-mo shows Rick just really laying himself out. Oh, by the way, that's Rick. All 4 squirrels have names, and more importantly, like any crew looking to pull off a heist, they all have specific roles to play. Starting with everyone's favorite, Fat Gus, who of course is the mastermind of this operation. On a heist, this is the role of the Frank Ocean or an Ethan Hunt. Now I just have to say, for those who aren't familiar, last year I named one of the squirrels Fat Gus because he loved to eat and was a little on the hefty side. But then halfway through, I noticed he had nipples, which it turns out means he was actually a girl, and a pregnant one at that. So it was just a whole PR disaster, and I switched the name to Fantastic Gus and rephrased a few other things, but to be honest, Fantastic Gus just doesn't roll off the tongue like Fat Gus. So I asked permission to use my preferred phrasing, and as you can see, I got full consent. Next up is Rick. He's the acrobat, the grease man, the gutsy one. He's the go-to for any task that is going to require some athletic abilities. And then we've got Marty. He's the hacker. Anything with computers or bank safes, and he's your guy. But while he's really smart, he also scares pretty easy. And finally, we've got Frank with logistics. A good heist starts with a good plan. He's got the whole course memorized, and he's mapped it out and provided blueprints for the team. And so back to the course, we've got Marty the hacker here, who again is a bit skittish, so you can see he's coming in pretty cautious. But who can resist a buffet? Once again, the real magic is found in the slow-mo. Eventually they realize security was just too tight at this casino, and Rick goes straight to the twist bar. Excellent. Here's try 2. And with some motivation for the bird, he's like, I got this, I got this, I got this. I don't think I got this. The real-time replay on this one is great too. And at this point, Fat Gus is like, I'm gonna need that crate of walnuts. Let me show you how it's done. Which turns out somewhat predictably. Now really frustrated, acrobat daredevil Rick tries a totally different route. I gave this a 9.5, but sorry Rick, the Russian judge gave it a 6. You gotta stick the landing. Logistics man Frank knows the wire connected to the fence leads to the helicopter crate, so he tries sneaking in the back door and is also forced to retreat. And finally, Marty the hacker realizes if you're just scared and you run real fast, the bar doesn't have time to spin on you. And you can see Rick just replicating the strategy. So after about 2 days, all of them could cruise through the first part of this course about this fast, and Fort Nuts was already feeling less and less secure. Fat Gus is like, wait, is this thing moving? I'm good. Here, Rick hypothesizes if he doesn't sit in the crate, it won't move. And here, he rejects that hypothesis with a legendary leap. And now's a good time to remind ourselves that squirrels are one of the few mammals that can survive a fall from any height. Because as you can see here, they make their bodies super flat to increase drag, effectively becoming their own parachute. But just in case, you okay, Rick? Yep. All good. And Marty the hacker, Frady Cat, is just like, yeah, I'm face the fearless leader Fat Gus, who demonstrates the ride is definitely worth it. And soon you've got Frank and the rest of the gang following suit. Which leads us to the wall of 1,000 moving bricks. And first up, you got Fat Gus, who kicks things right off with a pull of his parachute. And Rick just barely misses. Skittish Marty gets one taste of a moving brick and absolutely yeets himself into this tree. And while there were plenty of instances where a moving brick did dump the squirrels, causing them to start over from the beginning, what was even better was Marty psyching himself out in the anticipation that a brick might move, even though the wall wasn't powered on for any of these clips. And thanks in part to the dutiful supervision of Fat Gus, eventually, like all the other challenges so far, they got it down to a science where they could cruise by the wall fairly quickly. And now's a good time to mention, the squirrels weren't the only ones attempting the course. This is Splinter the Rat, and here he is with one of his buddies. He liked to make the rounds to all the houses each night, which sometimes were vacant, and sometimes they weren't. There goes Frank to chase him off his lawn. And you might have noticed the stuff in the house. The squirrels would gather nesting materials from various sources, or, somewhat hilariously, just steal from each other. Here's a bonus Santa Claus impression for all the Fat Gus fans out there. So from Splinter and his buddies to not at all creepy possums, there's a surprisingly constant variety of wildlife that passes through a suburban backyard, including a dumb dog who for some reason is much less interested in squirrels than he is my camera gear. Which is a lovely segue back to the squirrel hideout, where the heist was really just picking up steam. The computer and lowered the ladder, Fat Gus followed behind and joined him in the vents. But in the process, a critical tool dropped down, which led to a lovely recreation of an iconic scene. And as a side note, they figured out the exit door pretty quickly, and they functioned as a one-way door exactly as intended. And now with the vents, it was Frank's time to shine. You can see here, he's just double-checking the actual air duct layouts to make sure they match the blueprints he's memorized. And once he's satisfied, he steps up, and as you can see, he nails it first try. You can just sense his confidence here. Contrast that with Marty, who's like, alright, was it right? No, it's straight. No. Was it left? Crap. I gotta go check the map again. And as a result, most of his runs would end up looking something like this. So here's Frank coaching him from the outside, and you can see Marty's a little defensive about it. So Frank hops in so they can work out their differences, and then with a little encouragement, he gets him going down the right way. All the while, Fat Gus continues to supervise. Focus, Marty. There you go. Which brings us to the laser maze. Here's Acrobat Rick's first approach, and he's like, yeah, that's us. And just as expected, he climbs on top of the tube, and he's like, yeah, I totally got this. When in fact, he didn't have it. In real time, it happens so fast, it just looks like chaos. But if we slow down this second attempt, we can remind ourselves of how squirrels have mastered the laws of physics to always land on their feet. Did you catch it? The first is the locking of the head on a landing target in less than 300 milliseconds. If you go back and watch any jump from this video, that locking of their head is the first thing they always do. And the second is using conservation of angular momentum like an ice skater to pull their arms and legs in and out at the right times to rotate fast and then hold in the right orientation. Combine those two tricks with the flat body parachute and extending their legs at the last minute to absorb the shock, and they are perfectly adapted for living high in the trees. In fact, squirrels have been around for over 30 million years, and they've had to evolve relatively little in all that time. So then Rick's like, fine, I'll use the stupid tube like a normal squirrel. What is just... see, I knew this was sus. And here's Frank, who just watched what happened and therefore is appropriately cautious. But he hops right back on the saddle, and this time he nails it. And in the end, it feels appropriate that the mastermind, Fat Gus, was the first one to make it successfully through the laser maze, and then to subsequently make it to Fort Nuts. I mean, how Fat Gus is this? Falling not just for one decoy nut, but for both of them. Which paves the way for Marty the hacker to be the one to crack the safe, and as you can see here, he's pretty stoked about it. First, he just checks it out, like, yep, yep, this is just like the schematic showed. And then, the big moment. Once the safe opened, these cargo nets unfurled, which just allowed better access to their loot. But interestingly, more often than not, after getting a walnut, instead of jumping off, they would go all the way back through the course. Here's Jumpy Marty exhibiting some real PTSD, even though I'd already turned off the whole system. So once again, the squirrels took the W, but as far as I'm concerned, they earned it. And I can't complain with how things turned out, cause Rick buried all his extra nuts in the yard, Marty and Frank made up and rekindled their friendship, and Fat Gus got some long-sought quality time with the bird feeder. So everyone was happy. Well, almost everyone. Get out of here. Okay, how did you? Okay. That was my son, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. It might come as a surprise to a lot of you that I even have a son, because in 8 years of making videos, I've never really put him on camera. I'm fairly private and protective when it comes to my family on my channel. Now you might say, hold up, you put your niece and nephews on here all the time. But in my defense, I feel like I've made it pretty clear at this point that I don't really care about them. The reason I'm so protective of him is because he has special needs. He's on the autistic spectrum, and this is the internet. So even as I make this video, I'm incredibly terrified, but this is something that my wife and I feel really strongly about. And a lot of times when people hear he has autism, they want to know what he's really good at. Like, does he have a photographic memory? Or can he do really complex math in his head? For example, if you tell my son's friend any date from any year, he will tell you the day of the week it lands on. I'm gonna randomly generate a date. June 2nd, 2004. What day is that on?
Wednesday.
It's gonna take me a second even to get there. What did I say? June 2nd, 2004? You said Wednesday. Here's June. June 2nd, 2004. Let's do one more, okay? We're gonna generate another random date. May 26th, 2006.
Friday.
And there he goes. What did I even say? May 5th?
May 26th.
Oh, May 26th. Okay. His parents and teachers have no idea how he has the ability to do this, and he doesn't know how to communicate that to us either. You need some help? Okay, let's go make Play-Doh. It's actually a common misconception, but the truth is the majority of the kids on the autistic spectrum don't have remarkable abilities like this. Our son, however, does have a remarkable ability, Although if you see him in public, this ability isn't immediately apparent. A lot of times when he's around lots of people or in a crowded place, he might look disengaged, or it might seem like he doesn't really know what's going on. Carly Fleischman has autism and was able to explain why this is. And what you should know about Carly is that because of her erratic behavior and because she can't speak, for years people thought she was just severely autistic and had other extreme mental handicaps. Until one day when they put her in front of a computer where she could type. And then they realized there was so much more going on in her head than anyone could have imagined.
I am autistic, but that is not who I am. Take time to know me before you judge me.
This amazing breakthrough made it so Carly was able to explain how it feels to have autism.
Our brains are wired differently. We take in many sounds and conversations at once. I take over 1,000 pictures of a person's face when I look at them. That's why we have a hard time looking at people.
Basically, people with autism don't have a filter in their brain like the rest of us. So if you and I were having a conversation here in this park, I can ignore everything around me and just focus on your voice. But if I had autism, I would hear the ice cream man ringing the bell behind me, and the kid crying because he's not getting any ice cream, and the cars going by, and the plane up there, as well as the train in the distance. Not to mention all of the different smells and the fact that the tag on my shirt is kind of rubbing on my back. It's sensory overload and everything comes in all at once, and it's really overwhelming and makes it hard to focus. This is why headphones can be really helpful at a place like Disneyland. But at home, when he's in a familiar environment without a bunch of distractions, you start to get a glimpse of who he really is. You wouldn't know this from seeing him in public, but he loves to laugh, to the point that sometimes he can't even breathe. This is us doing our nightly bedtime routine. He loves routine and repetition because it's familiar and predictable, which makes sense because his brain knows what to expect and it doesn't need to filter. And as a dad, his love of repetition is the best because my same jokes totally kill every time. Some of these I've used easily hundreds of times and I still get this response.
I have a name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Turtle.
This leads to his remarkable ability I mentioned earlier, and it has to do with how he spends his free time at home by himself. When he first meets someone, he will ask important questions like what your favorite color is and if your house has stairs. Then the first chance he gets, he will make you a full-page mural completely covered in about 2 pounds of your favorite crayon color, and he'll write you a personal letter on the back. As you can see, he takes this job pretty seriously, and so we are constantly running out of envelopes and stamps. What's so remarkable to see as his parents is how happy people become when they get one of his letters. And the letters themselves certainly aren't any literary masterpiece, but people know they mean something special coming from him. Most kids are 12 years old, they get home from school and they're on their phones or they're thinking about themselves and how to look cool. But his biggest thrill is interacting with others. His superpower is making other people happy. He also makes people better. Birthday parties are a really big deal for him, even if it's not his. And everyone is always compassionate and patient with him, so he can make sure things happen just right. Having a child with special needs can be challenging at times, and certainly some cases out there are much harder than others. But his mom has always done a great job of finding and focusing on the best parts about our son, and then making sure other people can see and celebrate those parts as well. Regardless of your religious or political beliefs or your favorite sports team or any other way we like to divide ourselves into tribes, I think we can all agree that a successful life is one where you leave the world better than you found it. Sort of a net positive effect due to your influence. There's a lot of normal functioning people who are critical and seek to tear others down, or who have made a ton of money but are just terrible people. And by my definition, they're not successful. People with special needs might not fit the traditional criteria of success by benefiting GDP or getting a PhD to cure a disease, but they have such a net positive effect on the people that get to interact with them. They personify traits like perseverance, such as with Jason here, who has autism and was the dutiful sports equipment manager for 4 years. So the coach put him in for the last 4 minutes of the game his senior year. He sank not 1, not 2, but 6 3-pointers, including one right at the final buzzer, for a performance his supportive classmates will remember for the rest of their lives. People with special needs ground the rest of us and demonstrate the simple joys life can offer. With our hectic schedules and task lists, they remind us that things don't have to be that complicated. or in the case of Carly, that our initial critical snap judgments of each other might be totally wrong. My son will never be the star of his Little League team. He won't be the first person to step foot on Mars, nor will he invent the cure to cancer. But by the best definition of success I can think of, him and his special needs buddies and everyone else out there like them are giants living amongst us mere mortals. They make the world a better place, and we're lucky to have them. Thank you for watching the video. If it resonated with you in some way, please share it with someone in your life who you know might benefit from hearing the message. I also have a very exciting announcement. It's super distracting if you're mouthing all my lines.
I was doing that?
Yeah, just hold the cards.
Or I can sit. You don't mind, right?
Do I have a choice? This is your house.
Oh yeah, that is my house. All right. Mark and I will be co-hosting 3-hour live stream for charity on Mark's YouTube channel on April 30th, Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can figure out all the other times. We'll be doing this together.
It's called Color the Spectrum because, you know, my son likes to color. And we'll also be joined by some folks you might have heard of, such as Mr. Beast, the D'Amelio sisters, Jacksepticeye.
I have a friend named Jack that will be joining us too. Jack Black, Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock.
Heard of them. Not to mention Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Miranda Singh, Sarah Silverman, Mark Hamill, Andy Samberg, Justine, Maya Rudolph, Terry Crews, Paul Rudd, and Zach freaking Galifianakis. We'll also be joined by these folks as well.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
We'll be there.
I'll be there. Well, I'll be there too.
I'll be there. Hey, Vsauce. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I know you already said my name, but I'll be there.
All of the proceeds are going to a really great and well-respected charity called Next for Autism, who specialize in supporting folks on the autism spectrum as they transition into becoming adults.
There are resources for kids and teens affected by autism, but there isn't much for adults.
Yeah, it kind of drops off. So selfishly, my son is coming up on that milestone. So if you've ever wanted to support my channel financially, I don't have a Patreon, so this is the most meaningful way you can do it. So click the blue donate button over there or down there, and we can start raising funds now, even before the big live stream.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're bringing the biggest stars of social media and old people media together for a great night, great prizes, and most importantly, we're going to raise an actual ton of money to help some special people who could use it.
So follow the link in the video description for more information. Get pumped, go donate, and we'll see you there.
I'm already pumped.
As am I. You've probably received a lot of spam calls. That sounds something like this.
This is Amazon.com. You have been charged $379.
Now behind this harmless sounding call is a $20 billion scam industry, and today we're gonna roll over that log and see what crawls out. Because for the past 5 months, with the help of my trusty glitter bomb, which I typically just reserve for porch pirates, I've worked my way up every rung of the slimy chain of command involved in this scam. This journey is going to take us around the world and through 5 states. It involves Homeland Security, stakeouts with PIs, and of course glitter bombs and the scammers trying to hopelessly rid themselves of sparkly evidence before getting arrested. I'm going to show you exactly how they make so much money off these calls. So buckle up, because it gets wild. Now all this started for me when I was working on Glitter Bomb 3.0 this past November, and I kept getting those annoying calls, so I thought maybe to return the favor, I could send them my harmless box that shoots out glitter and fart spray when you remove the lid. Now my buddy Jim Browning has a YouTube channel where he's able to reverse the connection to the scammer's computer and then thwart them in real time as they try and scam someone else. My idea was to have a legitimate victim agree to send the money, but then we'd work with them to actually send a glitter bomb instead. So Jim checked all the scammer computers he was currently monitoring, and it just so happened a woman named Tracy was being scammed for $12,500 at that very moment. So he immediately tried reaching out to her and eventually got through.
Hello?
Hello, Tracy. It's Jim Browning here again. I'm calling you. Hopefully you've got my voicemail.
This what happened.
Now listen carefully to what Tracy's about to say here, and hold your judgment about how could anyone ever send $12,000 in the mail until I explain how the scam works in a minute, because I hate to give these guys credit, but it's pretty clever.
They were supposed to be refunded $200, and when I put it in the computer, I mistyped it at $13,000.
So I had to send money back to them, $12,500. And that's where I am. What do I do now?
I'll tell you what to do, Tracy. You leave this to me and Jim. The first thing we did was look up the address they told her to ship the money to, and given there were 6 cameras outside, this clearly was some kind of safe house for the scammers. We then had Tracy call FedEx to cancel the package, but just in case, we hired 2 PIs to be on the scene that day to intercept it. And we knew we shouldn't do that right in front of the house because they'd probably be watching, but since we weren't sure which direction the FedEx truck would come from, we overnight shipped a package to a bunch of their neighbors that explained they were randomly selected to win one of these super cool glitter bomb t-shirts. And if you wanted to buy one of these from markrover.com to help support making more videos like this, I'm certainly not going to stop you. This would allow us to speak to the delivery driver somewhere up the street to get the package stopped in time. And the plan worked flawlessly. Because despite Tracy's efforts to get it stopped, her package was in fact out on the truck for delivery.
That's the one, don't play with this one, please. This is the frozen one. If that one's gone, that's also gone.
But in a wild twist, there was a second package going to the same location addressed to the same fake name. Her name was Phyllis, and we later found out her package contained even more cash than Tracy's.
So that one's going back, right?
And FedEx was cool enough to eventually return the packages. So both Tracy and Phyllis got all the money back. And when the scammers angrily called Tracy back asking why the package didn't arrive, she explained she accidentally selected 2-day shipping instead of next day air, so they would get the package tomorrow. And that's where we switched from defense to a very light offense. And so the next day, we delivered the package in an official looking vest.
Have a good holiday. Thank you.
And waited for the sweet retribution.
Hello? You guys give up? Or you're thirsty for more?
But for the first time in 3 years of glitter bombing criminals, someone didn't immediately throw the box outside, and he just sat there with the wretched smell, leaving the box untouched. And then as we waited, wondering what his game plan was going to be, suddenly a bunch of NYPD officers started showing up, and it didn't take them long to figure things out. We had a phone number on the box, and they called us up, and I explained the whole situation. And I'll just say, there was some mutual admiration for each other's work. I mean, there might be cameras on there, officer. And as it happens, the reason the scammer would call the cops on himself is because he isn't a scammer. This is Gary, and it turns out he's a super nice guy. But Gary runs an Airbnb, and once you go in that door, there are 2 rooms upstairs that he rents out to people. So this wasn't a safe house at all. These scammers would use Airbnb to get a temporary address they would only use once. But if that's true, that meant the scammers must have been there yesterday. So Gary showed us his security footage, and we saw this woman in an orange jacket who appeared right as the PI was talking with the FedEx driver up the street. She also looks directly at the camera and then decides it's probably cold enough outside to zip her jacket all the way up. Once the FedEx truck passes and she realizes he skipped by her, she hurries over to talk to him, and when he told her he had nothing for her for that day, she walks right back to her car, never stepping foot inside the Airbnb. The PI's got all the license plates on the street that day, and it turns out her name is Crystal. You should remember that name for later. So then Gary showed us who booked the room. It was this guy from Utah with a brand new account and 0 reviews. In fact, when the reservation was booked, he sent this message in awkward English at 3:06 a.m., which happens to be just after lunch in India. So I did some more research and learned that after the scammer in India found a willing victim, they would use a money mule and have the victim send the cash there. So Crystal in this case was the mule. But instead of sending the package to the money mule's house, they use an Airbnb. Then the mule gives the package to a supervisor who deposits the cash and wire transfers the remaining money back to the scammer. And they must have got spooked because Crystal was long gone the next day, which meant we caught poor Gary in the crossfire. But he wanted them caught just as much as us, so we compensated him handsomely just for being cool about everything. So we'll call that round a tie. We stopped the scammers from receiving 2 packages containing $30,000, but they were still glitter-free. But before I show you exactly how we tip the scales in our favor, let me explain exactly how this scam works so well at tricking so many people. There's an email that goes along with the scam that basically says the same thing as the robocall, which is Amazon just charged you $200, but if you don't recognize this charge, please call right away to have it refunded. So when you call, they say, I'd be happy to walk you through the refund process on your computer. So just type this here and simply install this, and then I'll be able to fully help you out. And most victims don't really comprehend. They've just installed a remote software program that gives the scammers full access to their computer. Now they're ready for the scam. They tell her that some accounts have actually already had their refunds automatically processed, so she needs to check her bank account to make sure the $200 refund isn't already there. And when Bessie here asks if he can see her banking info, he explains in technical terms,
it's a 3D page, so I cannot see anything.
Oh, okay.
And so sure enough, she hasn't got the refund yet, so he needs just about 5 minutes to work with his billing department in order to process it. But first, he makes a really big deal about this.
I'm signing out from your account in front of your own eyes.
And this is true, he actually does sign out. At which point he triggers her screen to go black so she can't see anything that he's doing. And then he immediately logs back in using the browser pre-stored username and password. He's going to do a simple browser HTML edit on this page to temporarily make this Lowe's purchase look like a refund for $20,000, and you'll see why in a minute. And as he's editing away, he chats her up to try and build trust.
You're like my granny, Miss Bessie, you know this?
Yeah.
She was like one of my closest friends.
Oh.
I used to share each and everything with her.
You mean like what you do for a living? And you might be wondering, why doesn't he just wire transfer himself money while he has unrestricted access to her account? But the problem there is that it's traceable and it would likely get flagged by the bank's fraud detection system anyways. But if you can get an old lady to mail you cash, it's so untraceable, the authorities don't even begin to try and track it down. Now that he's finished, he unblinks her screen and he informs her that unfortunately, the billing department couldn't process the refund, so they have one last option to try.
This is the Chase online refund server.
It's actually just a text window that does absolutely nothing. It's pure theater.
It is an irreversible form. Whatever you are typing over there, put it in a correct manner. Nothing would be changed over here.
Basically, he makes a big deal for 3 minutes that she's the one that has to enter all the information, and anything that gets typed there is immediately permanent. Maybe you can see where this is headed. So her name, last four of social, zip code, and finally refund amount.
Please enter your refund.
If you go back, you can actually hear him type the 2 extra zeros on his keyboard and hit enter.
Check everything, is it correct?
Oh no, this is a mistake. Oh, I screwed up. It was supposed to be a 200 in there. Oh, God almighty. I'm exhausted. I can't do this. My mind is absolutely fried.
Please check your account. Did you really receive that money in your account? Oh my God. Plus 20,000.
Yeah.
Please save my job, ma'am. If I'll not earn for my family will die due to hunger, due to starvation.
Yes, of course. I mean, what should I do? I mean, I can.
Practically, you are also like my grandmother.
You know, I'm an honest person. I'm
getting attached to you.
Now, how do I fix this?
He tells her that unfortunately mailing a check or wiring money would just take too long, so he needs to think for a minute. And then he comes back with this.
Hello, Miss Bessie.
Yes.
I got an option.
And you can see now how he's got her to the point where she's totally willing to send $20,000 in the mail and to lie to the folks at the bank or FedEx or even her family who might try and stop it. In her mind, she messed up. And because she's a good, empathetic person, she'll go through great lengths to make it right for someone she doesn't realize is a heartless scam. And on top of weaponizing their empathy, maintaining pressure on their victim is a key tactic. They keep them on the phone the whole time, even as they drive to the bank, or they yell at them.
Go to the UPS! Why don't you go to the UPS?
Or call this many times in a row. And if you've ever seen this clip,
Name a woman.
Name a woman?
Yeah.
You already know when you're under extreme stress, it's an actual biological response for the part of our brain that does critical thinking to just shut down.
Yes, this is so hard.
Name a woman.
Once they're back from the bank with the cash, they coach them through packing it. In Tracy's case, they had her put $100 bills in the pages of a book so it couldn't be detected in the mail. In other cases, they have the victims wrap the cash in saran wrap so the dogs can't sniff it, and then foil so it can't be x-rayed. And unfortunately, there's a small portion of the population that are just too trusting for their own good. And sadly, it's nearly always older folks. So for the scammers, it's just a game of percentages to find them. The According to data Jim has gathered from the scammer's own computers, in one shift, a call center like this with about 25 employees will send out 500,000 robocalls. They'll get about 500 calls back and land maybe 5 to 10 victims like Bessie or Tracy or Phyllis. And speaking of Phyllis, after we got FedEx to send back her package, I was able to get in touch with her son, and I found out her husband of 40 years had passed away the very week she was being scammed of her life savings. The scammers knew she was mourning this loss, but once you're scammed, your phone number is really valuable because it means you're an easy mark. So they sold her info to other scammers, and she was scammed twice more the same week her husband died. And as hard as it was for me to even hear a backstory like that, it just made me that much more motivated to seek some glitter bomb retribution for all the Phyllises out there, and perhaps in the process, we might stumble upon some good information that we can pass on to the authorities. So now we need another scammer to send a glitter bomb to, but we decided when Jim spots a scam in progress, it's better for him just to stop it cold and not stress out the victim any more than they already are. So we reached out to our friend Pierogi from the YouTube channel Scammer Payback, because whenever Pierogi gets a scam call to his actual phone, he turns on his cameras, makes his voice sound like an old lady, and has some fun.
They will ask you in your bank like why you are withdrawing this much of cash, what you gonna tell them?
I'm getting it for Derek Wilson from Microsoft.
No, man, no. You need to tell them that you are withdrawing the cash for your personal reason.
And it didn't take long for fake victim, old woman Pierogi, to get us an address in New Jersey.
Is this where I'm sending it to?
Right. Grab the box, right? So you can put the cash.
Yeah, I've already got a box. And it's big enough.
This one was actually to a hotel and not an Airbnb. But as soon as we pulled up, once again, a money mule was out there waiting for us. So they took the package and drove around for a couple of hours, and when it was clear they weren't going to open it, we made the call just to get the box back before the batteries died, and then maybe the box audio recording might help us piece together more info on the scam.
You guys picked up a box from FedEx today for the scam?
I didn't have this.
Oh, really? Let's see the box.
And when I first heard that, I was like, oh, well, now I feel bad. Sometimes these mules don't even realize they're participating in scams, and they might even be victims themselves. But then I was like, look, not that I don't believe her, but maybe just in case, we just have a little peek at the eye. Then she got on the phone with her boss, James. That's right, Crystal. Apparently they're a team, which means Jacqueline was probably in the car the other day in New York.
And the other time she in the car watching. She don't do shit.
By the way, Crystal, hate to say it, but Jacqueline was talking a lot of trash about you. In fact, I'd watch your back, because her cousin in the car that day might be gunning for your job.
Driver, how much you get? How much you get for that one parcel? $7 or $100 for each parcel. Everybody's getting $700. What are we back in the Delaware I don't know what's going on out there.
We learned two key things here. The first is that a supervisor will have multiple mules reporting to them who apparently get flown all over the country, and just one mule could receive as many as 7 packages in a day. And the second is that this address was from a totally different call center in India. So that same supervisor can work with multiple unrelated scammers as well. And so in the spirit of avenging Phyllis, if we were going to glitter bomb and fart spray anyone here in the States, we really wanted it to be a supervisor. And thanks to Pierogi, not long after, we would get another chance.
Get the $50,000 in cash with you, get in your car. Once you're in your car, let me know. Make sure you don't involve any third person, nobody.
So I don't need to tell my husband?
Your husband, your mother, anyone.
This one would be in Illinois. And the delivery address this time was to a Walgreens. It was interesting to see them experimenting with different package drop-off methods. And right away, we heard some good news. The Walgreens was here, and the handoff occurred here at this gas station. And with that, we had our supervisor. They tailed the supervisor for a few minutes and got a good look at his 2019 white Honda Passport. And then 20 minutes later, he stopped here in a seemingly random parking lot and opened it.
Hello!
And even though he kept it by his feet, the camera's got a perfect shot of his face here. And the PIs assessed the situation and felt safe enough to approach him right after he opened it, but then he took off. And they let him go, and we just used the GPS and the glitter bombs to once again locate it in the ditch snow. And right after that, Pierogi got this message from the scammer in India, which shows two things. The supervisor and scammer are in close contact with each other, and neither one likes glitter. And that seemed like the end of the story, until we ran the plates and realized his name was tied to a business really close to where he opened the box. So we went back a week later to get footage to show just how close. Here's where he opened it. You can see that dumpster and house for reference, and then you pan over, and that's the business his name is tied to. And wait a second, that's a 2019 Honda Passport. And wait another second, that's the same guy whose face is on camera opening the glitter bomb. So this was a nice little package of intel we were able to hand off to the authorities, because the supervisor is sort of the hub and a direct connection between a bunch of mules in the States and a bunch of scammers in India. Pierogi came through with one final address in Texas, and this one was back to the MO of being delivered to an Airbnb. And like all the others, the mule was right there waiting for us, and then she took it inside to open it.
Hello! You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Notice how she films herself opening the package. Apparently this is pretty common, because I suppose there's no honor among thieves, and the scammers will demand the video to confirm she hasn't taken more than she's allowed. As we learned before, the money mules make a flat amount per package, like $100. But I ended up reading somewhere that the supervisor gets a 10% cut and sends the rest back to the scammers. This lady later admitted she herself was exchanging the cash for Bitcoin to send back to the scammers, which meant she was actually a supervisor, and for the sake of Phyllis, that was a lovely surprise.
That's maybe emotion as well.
She took off and parked about a mile away, but the police were alerted and were on her tail pretty quickly. I love that attempt at just getting away with the parking warning. So she gets out of the car, and I have to applaud the effort here, but as every parent knows, the only way she's getting rid of the evidence from her pants and car is by burning a bolt to the ground. And so after she was taken into custody, the police returned to the Airbnb to gather evidence. The dude on the left there is a detective, and they already had her under investigation for another package scam. So now they're bringing charges against her, and the actual glitter bomb and footage is being held as evidence in the case. We did one more in Illinois and two more in California, but I decided against showing those because those scammers are being monitored as part of ongoing investigations. In fact, over the past 4 months, Jim, Pierogi, and I have been in contact with investigators from the respective local police departments, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and the FBI. And we've turned over to them every last bit of evidence we've stumbled upon. So hopefully, like me, you now have a better understanding of how these scam calls operate. And here's why that matters. The authorities are cracking down more on these guys, both here in the States and in India. But it's sort of a game of whack-a-mole, and another one will just pop up because the financial incentives are so great. The only way to truly defeat this is by spreading awareness, thereby making it ineffective. So if you have someone in your life who's older that means a lot to you, please educate them or even share this video with them. I put some resources in the video description if you've been exposed to fraud, but all the experts agree it's much better to not be reactive here, but proactive by spreading awareness and understanding what this looks like. And speaking of being proactive, I will close with some good news, which is that thanks to Jim, who explains how he did it in a video we just released on his channel, we have the identifying information of the folks over in India who scammed our girl Phyllis. And by the way, everyone in India hates these guys too. And so over the next year, of course, working with the proper authorities, we'll be executing a multi-phase operation that will be, as always, relatively harmless. And I don't want to give too much away, but we already have some informants working for us in some of these call centers, and the first phase might include a door handle and actual poop from Phyllis's actual mom. So make sure you're subscribed, because it's gonna be amazing. You can set your plant on this box, and it has some electronics inside to measure the soil moisture level, and then talk to you when you walk by. And this This machine measures how long it's been since you've stood up and employs the kid sitting behind you on a long flight method to encourage a stretch break. This is a game to motivate exercise during a lockdown, and this is a secret safe for your most valuable possessions. And finally, this is a G-dang Lunchables assembly line. Are you kidding me? And what do all of those have in common? They were created by people who took my month-long creative engineering course. I just launched this class for the first time a few months ago, and it was so freaking rewarding to see what everybody learned and created as a result. For the most part. And because we got so much overwhelmingly positive feedback on the course, we're doing it again. You can sign up for it now. This class covers my full engineering design process, all the way from how I come up with an idea, to prototyping, to finalizing the build and giving it character. I show you everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm doing, and I do it 3 times. Over the course of a month, you're going to watch me design and create 3 totally original builds, and I'm going to guide you through finishing 3 creative builds of your own. And this is an online class, so you can take it from anywhere and work it around your schedule, but it's fully immersive and intensive. So whether you're a working professional or you're taking the class as a family, whether you're a complete beginner or an experienced engineer, this class has been designed to meet you where you're at and then level up your skills. So go to monthly.com/markrover or use the link in the video description to see what other people had to say about their experience, and then enroll, and I'll see you in class.